Jeff Green had an upsetting start to the 2000 season and had to battle with the Winston Cup stars early. But in their absence, he's built a tremendous lead in the points and is going for 3 wins in a row. This week, he'll have to contend with talented road racer Ron Fellows here at the Glen. Dale Jr. overtook Fellows last year to score the victory en route to the series title. Will Jeff Green be able to survive this road to the championship? Take the green flag. Cars are on the racetrack right now making the pace laps. Our Suzuki starting grid, the top 13 all beat last year's record qualifying mark. Ron Fellows at 1 minute 13.8 seconds. Timmy Fedewa got the wall in qualifying, but they were able to fix the car. He will stay on that number 2 starting spot.
And a couple other very good road racers in that top 15. P.J. Jones will start 4th. Butch Leitzinger will start 7th. You can see Kevin Harvick with a good performance. Rookie contender starts 9th.
He is the points leader in the Rookie of the Year championship chase. Curtis Markham in the number 4 for Jeff Purvis. Then on down you see Ron Hornaday, who's second in that rookie chase. He'll start 24th.
And starting 25th, you see Ashton Lewis, another good road racer there. And also, Mike Wallace starts 27th, coming off a good 4th place yesterday in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race.
And as we move to the last page of our starting grid, Jason Leffler tagged the wall on the 2nd qualifying lap. He had to go to a backup car. He'll start at the rear of the field. Randy LaJoy had a horrible qualifying session. He's 35th. Dick Trickle also tagged the wall in happy hour. He's in Dale Quarterly's car. They will stop and change drivers. Quarterly will get in at the first available yellow. So there is the 44 starting cars that made the field. Lights out on the pace car. Our race analysis, 2.45 miles on this road course. 82 laps, just over 200 miles. The pit window up to 40 laps for fuel. And 84 and some change is the race record set by Terry Labonte back in 96. 11 turns. The banking ranges from 6 to 10 degrees and just under $675,000 for the purse.
And boy, do we have a bunch of onboards today. 8 in all. Randy LaJoy will start 35th in the Bob Evans Chevrolet. And starting 26, Mike Dillon in the number 21 Rockwell Automation Chevrolet. Starting 24th, Ron Hornaday in the number 3 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. Starting 21st will be Jay Sauter in the number 43 Quality Farm and Country Chevrolet. There you can see the wiper there. Curtis Markham starts 16th in the number 4 Porter Cable Power Tools Pontiac. And starting 5th, number 48, Mike McLaughlin in the Gould Pumps Chevrolet. And starting 4th, P.J. Jones in the yellow Chevrolet. And on the pole, number 87, Ron Fellows in the Bully Hill Vineyards Chevrolet.
And Fellows yesterday in a backup truck leased from John Conley managed to come back from dead last in the field to finish 3rd. Let's get an update on what's happening down in pit lane. Dave Burns.
Marty, considering what that crew went through, the truck was pretty good for Fellows, but it wasn't a road race truck, and it really wallowed. It didn't have a lot of the stiffening braces that you would normally put in a road course type truck in that case. Today, he's a lot more comfortable in the 87 car. That thing has been solid ever since they went out and actually decided not to go to the first practice because they were so confident. The car is very, very good, and with a new body on it after last year's 2nd place finish, Ron is confident he can take it and keep it at the front of the field again today.
Fellows behind the pace car. They're on the outer loop there. They make their way around this racetrack. Amy East, what do you have from pit lane right before we go green?
Well, our current point leader, Jeff Green, is starting from the 10th position. And when asked, can you win 3 in a row and capture this victory? Well, the answer is not quite as clear. Sure, he would like to win, but he knows he's not a road racer. He knows that he needs to just stay smooth. Smooth is the key to Watkins Glen. Keep your marks on. hopes to have a top 5 finish, and hopefully he hopes some of those road racers up front will have some misfortunes. And Greg Biffle, yesterday in the truck race, he got the 3 in a row, and Green hopes he can do it as well.
Well, Jeff Green has done well here in the past. In 95, he was 5th. In 96, he was 6th. Last year, he had some problems, though, and came home in 40th position. He does not want to repeat that.
Well, we haven't talked yet about the big question mark, which is weather, because it definitely could rain, and these guys have not had a chance to run in the rain. The trucks ran in practice in the rain last year, but not a lot of these guys with a lot of wet weather experience.
Kevin Harvick was a part of that truck contingent last year in the number 2 AC Delco Chevrolet. Ron Hornaday as well. Mike Wallace has had some rain experience, but of course P.J. Jones and our pole sitter Ron Fellows would get the definite advantage. But talking to Fellows, he doesn't want it to rain. We're getting ready to go green. The Lysol 200 is underway. Hold on. Yesterday, Jack Sprague got spun out on that first lap, first turn. Everybody made it through today.
And Elton Sawyer actually got up alongside Ron Fellows, but Fellows much deeper on the brakes going down into turn 1.
Lining up in the freight train through the S's, the fastest curving section of this racetrack. Now down onto the back straightaway, heading for the inner loop. There's Timmy Fedowa, dropped back to 3rd from his 2nd starting position. Elton Sawyer has moved into that 2nd spot. And there's P.J. Jones in the yellow freight.
And down here, this is where Fedowa crashed his car during qualifying. Right here, that barrier on the left, which is covered in styrofoam, and it was that styrofoam that really saved this car. They were able to fix it and put it back in the race.
Yeah, the whole back end right up to the fuel cell. And you're right, they do credit that styrofoam with saving more damage. Getting ready to complete lap number 1. Surprise, surprise, the road racing ace, Ron Fellows, is going to lead it. Sawyer 2nd, Tim Fedowa is 3rd, P.J. Jones 4th, and Mike McLaughlin round out your top 5.
P.J. had a look there, but nothing in it for him down into turn 1. It's still very early going here, a long way to go. These guys do not want to abuse these cars, especially the brakes. Brakes were a factor yesterday in the race, especially for Ron Fellows.
P.J. Jones had his best Winston Cup finish here in 93 when he came home in 8th. There's Kevin Harvick.
And an interesting tidbit on P.J. Jones is that P.J. owns the overall qualifying record for the long course here at Watkins Glen.
Side by side, they think better of it there. They make their way through the inner loop. Yesterday, we saw a couple of guys try the bizarre thing.
Well, there's no such thing as side by side once you turn in there. There's really only room for one car through the inner loop. And so you better make up your mind by the time you decide to turn in off that back straightaway into the inner loop, you better be lined up single file. Look at the wiper there. A lot of these cars, they have not put the wipers on them, but they can snap them on very quickly during a pit stop if they need to.
And that's the number 92 All-Star Chevy of Jimmy Johnson. He's running in 13th right now. I don't think that'll distract his attention too much. Of course, that's the big challenge with a wiper on these cars. Casey Atwood looking underneath. That's Curtis Markham in the Porter Cable car, and side by side they hang on to it. Ron Hornaday picks up some ground. He tucks in right behind Atwood.
He's going to try and go with them as they go. You don't want to get caught out there on the outside going up the hill. You can see Hornaday had to crack out of the throttle there. He should be able to run up there flat.
Hornaday celebrated his 42nd birthday last Tuesday. Nothing he'd like better than to win his first Busch Series race. You see, he's still putting the curves the same way he did in the Truck Series last year.
He's not shy about using those curves. And actually, that first curve used to be very, very big there at the inner loop, and they lowered it, and now these guys use a lot more road.
Back up front to our race leader, that is Ron Fellows in the Bully Hill Vineyard Chevrolet. Stay with us. We've got a lot more coming your way from the Lysol 200.
Introducing the redesigned Suzuki King Quad with a tough new look. A 3-speed sub-transmission with super low range and locking front differential. Shaft front drive and integrated rear drive. Fully independent front and rear suspension with oil damp shocks and adjustable.
Hey! Fishing here. A little quiet. Do you mind?
Just one of the redesigned Quadrunner ATVs from Suzuki.
Pep Boys knows how to give you a great deal on tires. They don't run specials on just one size. Pep Boys discounts every size in stock. That means all Cornell 808 35,000-mile tires, 4 for $99. Futura 855 55,000-mile tires, 4 for $129. Or get our Futura 70,000-mile tires, all sizes, 4 for only $169.
Pep Boys, cars like us, people love us.
Eddie, is that you?
Beware the spray.
The spray got you? But you were near the tree.
The spray is like no other. One moment I'm fine, the next my roots are like mush.
Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
Bad cheetah. See? That's why I'm not a cat person.
Now get the Wall Street Journal delivered for 13 weeks at just 57 cents a day, or 25% savings. Call now, 800-255-6600. That's 800-255-6600 for the Wall Street Journal.
Today's Busch Series race, the Lysol 200, is being brought to you by Pep Boys, cars like us, people love us. By Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. And by Roundup. Roundup kills weeds down to the root. Roundup, no root, no weed, no problem. Well, we've had a few interesting moments while we were in commercial break. Take a look at second place. P.J. Jones has gotten up 2 positions. Got around Elton Sawyer just the last lap, and the lap before that, Tim Fedoy. So now 2 road racing veterans at the front of this pack. Then also, Mike Olson in the Little Trees car came into the pits on fire. It looked like they had a crack in maybe the fuel line in there or under there, but the fire is out. Finished 18th here last year after starting 43rd. And this is what it looked like when they got in there and they realized that it was getting a little hot.
Well, it was actually, yeah, the fire was under the back when he, there it is. And it was burning under the back when he rolled it down pit lane. And it may have gone out temporarily, but it was in there.
Take a look. Yeah, see, there was a leak in there somewhere because you can see it. That's just a couple of laps before he caught on fire. So obviously it hit maybe the hot pipes underneath there and then ignited. Whoops! Off-course excursion for Justin Labonte as he pulls it back out. Gets underway. That's the exit of turn 1 area. Justin 40th. Also involved in the incident was number 11 of Jason Jarrett in the Ray of that Pontiac.
And he was 39th, so that makes sense.
So action even in the back of the field. Take a look as we go back and show you what happened. Oh, there they are. Yeah, looks like they got together maybe.
Well, one of them was 39th, the other one was 40th, so going down to turn 1, actually a great job there to not get that car buried in the pea gravel there down at turn 1, because once you get buried, you will be going down a lap, and of course, NASCAR is forced to go to a full course yellow if those cars get buried in the gravel. And look at Fellows not even using all the road as he comes out of the loop. That tells you a lot. Oh, that was coming down the back straight. Okay, that's better. I was thinking, boy, he's not driving that car very hard, not using as much curb as the other guys.
He's led all 6 laps so far. His lead's about 2.4 seconds. We look a little bit further back. There it is, Jeff Green running comfortably behind Todd Bodine. Bodine running in 6th. Right in front of him, Mike McLaughlin. And also, well, there's Kevin Harvick. Looks like Harvick has dropped to the 10th position. This time by, we'll get a better idea. The margin now up to 2.6 seconds over second place, P.J. Jones. Elton Sawyer third. Bodine has dropped to 7th. Leitzinger has moved into 6th. That was the change. And then here you see this battle going on. Let's go on board with Mike McLaughlin. Looks like he's going to pick up a spot. He's trying to get around Tim Fedewa and has succeeded. So that moves McLaughlin into the 4th spot. And Fedewa looks like he may have dropped 2 positions because that is not the familiar Stanley colors. In fact, there you see him is a little bit further back. So, yes, in fact, he's dropped more than that. He's behind Bodine as well into the clutches of Jeff Green.
Well, that's peculiar because Fedewa looked like he had a nice run off turn 11 down the front straightaway, and all of a sudden 2 cars go by him. Probably one of those situations where he got forced out down at turn 1, and as they were going up the S's, they were side by side. He may have got forced out going up through the S's, and that kills your speed down the back straightaway.
So there's McLaughlin going through, and there is Fedewa. You can hardly tell from until you get up close to the car. The crew did a magnificent job of getting the back end rearranged. Dave Burns, you got more on Tim Fedewa?
Well, Marty, I spoke to him just before he got in the car today, and he said that when he drove the car back to the garage, he really didn't know what he had, but the crew found that it really wasn't bent, that it was pretty much cosmetic. When they put it back together, though, of course, he didn't know when he started out. I just talked with Billy Nakowitz, the crew chief, and he said that he hasn't said anything. Tim has not said anything on the radio, so he's still just feeling the car out. And Tim admitted to me he is being a bit more careful today after going off course during his qualifying run, pushing it just a bit too hard.
He's also had 5 DNFs this year in 15 races, and Kevin Harvick is in the pits. This is an unscheduled stop here early, and now they had to back him up. Now the jack's going under it a second time. This is turning into a long, lengthy stop.
Well, Marty, this is not such a bad deal because remember last year, now granted it was under yellow, but we had a yellow at about this point in the race last year. Ron Fellows, Dale Earnhardt Jr. both pitted, and that was what guaranteed them that they would just do one more stop. So as long as Harvick doesn't go down a lot, he'll be okay.
Well, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll check and see if that was unscheduled or if it perchance was a bit of strategy here at the Lysol 200.
All the world over, so easy to see. People everywhere just want to be free.
Bell Atlantic Mobile has become Verizon Wireless. Join in.
All the world over, so easy to see. People everywhere just want to be free.
Bell Atlantic Mobile has become Verizon Wireless. Join in.
When you need expert, affordable transmission service, turn to Barry's Transmission Specialist. We offer high-performance services for all levels and types of foreign and domestic cars and trucks, as well as rebuilding and adjusting for automatics and standards, clutches, CV joints, and 4x4s. When you need a powerhouse of a transmission specialist, turn to Barry's, your hometown transmission shop. Locally owned and operated for 22 years. Barry's Transmission, 1907 Williston Road, South Burlington.
Tonight on ESPN at 7:30, Baseball Tonight. At 8, division rivals clash when the Rockies battle the Diamondbacks. And at 11, Sports Center. On ESPN2 at 7, kart racing action. At 9:30 RPM tonight. And at 10, it's Hot Rods. Plus continuous scores and news on the bottom line. And on ESPN Classic at 9, Real Classics presents A Hero for Daisy. And at 10:30, Billie Jean gives Bobby Riggs a lesson. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
Great race here for the third position on back, and we've got a car spinning. Look at Steele. He's on the outside. He broke something. Whoa, hard into the wall.
Friday on ESPN, the MCI World Compusac National Midget Car Series takes to the tricky High Bank Quarter Mile at Anderson Speedway in Indiana. 20-year-old rookie phenom and points leader Casey Kane will try and slow down the Red Hawks Jay Drake. That is on Thunder, a special edition on ESPN Friday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com. And all of us here want to send our best to Larry Rice. Underwent surgery earlier this week. Larry, get well soon. We're thinking of you. Kevin Harvick is back out on the racetrack. He is in 38th position. Amy, what's the deal? Was it strategy or was it a problem?
No problems down here. Just spoke with Todd Barrier, who is Kevin Harvick's crew chief, and he said that this was a routine stop for left side tires and fuel, and this was part of his pit strategy. Remembering that this team came from the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, they were paid particular attention to that race yesterday, and they watched Greg Biffle's team, and they know that stopping early can pay off in the end.
He made a point during the commercial break. He's now got open track.
Well, that's the thing. Before he stopped, he was in a group of cars that were racing wheel to wheel. Oh, we got a car in the pea gravel down to turn 1.
The 34 has made it in. That's David Green in the AFG class Chevy. And the Archdale, North Carolina resident is up to the rear axle, and our first yellow of the day is out.
And boy, does this ever play into Kevin Harvick's hands. And as I was saying, Harvick was in a group of cars that was racing very hard, and I think he probably felt that he could run better by himself anyway, and it puts him in the window to stop one more time.
So Green, who was running in the 15th position, it's going to take a long time, and he probably will lose a lap. Let's go back and see what happens.
And you could see there the car clearly out of control before it even comes into that camera shot. And we couldn't tell if there was any contact there, but certainly he had it spinning, and there are no cars real close to him, so we're going to assume that he just lost control of that car on his own.
Well, David has 3 top 5 finishes here. In fact, he's even led 15 laps at Watkins Glen, so he's no stranger to the track, but not in the position he wants to be in right now. Sun has broken out over the racetrack, although we still have clouds off into the distance. Checking the weather radar, it is to the north of us right now. The wind's blowing from the southwest, so that is a good sign. Stay with us. We'll take another commercial break while they pull Dave Green out of the pea gravel here at Watkins Glen International at the Lysol 200.
Now that Napa Auto Parts and accessories are available online, have we suddenly become hipper? Well, maybe a little. See for yourself at NapaOnline.com. Guess the margin of victory in this year's Pepsi 400 at Daytona, and you could win this custom Pontiac Grand Prix pace car. Play the Napa Online margin of victory game at NapaOnline.com. Get online and play now, before some computer weenie wins it.
Just because you're in front doesn't mean you sit back and watch the others try and catch up. If you can make a great thing better, you do it. And that's what they've done with today's Mobil 1 Tri-Synthetic. That's a bit of a mouthful, but basically it means Mobil 1 protects against engine wear better than ever before. Helps your anti-pollution gear work better too. To me, using anything less just isn't an option.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. In all of us, there is the genetic code for mutation. Now, a change is coming.
Magneto believes that a war is brewing between mutants and the rest of humanity.
Those we fear will be all that can save us.
He could wipe out everyone in New York City.
Rated PG-13, July 14th, only in theaters.
For 10 years, ESPN's Outside the Lines has investigated sports on and off the field. Now, this groundbreaking Emmy Award-winning program has a new weekly edition, Sunday mornings at 10:30. Join host Bob Lee as he explores the major story of the week dominating the headlines, plus live interviews with the top newsmakers on the one program that takes you inside the game by going outside the lines. Outside the Lines, now Sundays at 10:30 on ESPN.
Back at Watkins Glen, NASCAR 2000 is going to continue later today on ESPN. Rusty Wallace has the pole for the Save Mark Cragen 350 from Sears Point Raceway. 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 1 o'clock Pacific. Today, NASCAR Wednesday Cup Series action on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, Go.com. We're expecting pit stops. In fact, we were eavesdropping on the radio with Ron Fellows, very confident sounding, and it sounds like they may try and go gas and go.
Well, they are going to go just with fuel, no tires, and you could just, you know, we were, as you said, we were eavesdropping during the commercial break. Ron Fellows sounds so relaxed, almost too relaxed, but I think they're very confident right now, and the strategy is, listen, you're not having to overdrive the car. You're not having to abuse it. The tires are in good shape. Let's not take the chance of losing positions by changing tires. Let's just take fuel. PJ looks like he may stay out.
Crew Chief Brian Patty was saying on the radio, says, look, PJ's using his car up to catch you.
Don't pass
You're comfortable. Here he comes. We'll just listen in. They're coming your way, guys. Dave Burns, it's all yours.
Well, as Ron Fellows brings it slowly down at Watkins Glen on the pit lane, they are going to possibly change tires. We've heard they may only go fuel this time. We'll see what Brian Patty and the crew will do. Yesterday, had several pit stops. Didn't change the truck too much that he was racing. Doesn't look like they're going to change much on the car because it is fast. No tires over the wall. Fuel only for Ron Fellows. They're going to make a short stop here and for the rest of the race. Amy East.
Jeff Green has hit his stall. The team is going to give him 4 fresh tires and fuel. They're also going to make, or they did make, an air pressure adjustment. All they've heard from Jeff Green on the radio is he wants more forward bite. Dave Burns.
Left side tires for Tim Fedewa and fuel. No changes on the car. Crew Chief Billy Negowitz says he's pretty happy with it, although guys are out-braking him, guys with more experience on Watkins Glen track.
So with Ron Fellows pitting and P.J. Jones staying out, P.J. is going to inherit the race lead, and that's some interesting strategy here.
Well, there are a lot of cars that stayed out. I saw that Hornaday stayed out, and so once the cars come around and trip the line, we'll be able to see exactly who's doing what. But the guys that stayed out, it would indicate that they're trying to do it on one stop.
We're going to take another commercial break. They continue to clean up the debris of Dave Green's excursion. Stay with us.
From the leader in ride control technology comes the latest in a long line of innovations. Introducing the revolutionary new Reflex Shock from Monroe. With impact sensor technology that shifts between firm and soft compression in just 12 milliseconds, combining superior comfort with a dramatic reduction in pitch and roll for maximum safety. Experience the new standard in comfort and control with a new Reflex Shock from Monroe.
Big city, people spend a lot of money trying to look cool. But in the country, looking good can cost a lot of dough, too. At least no matter where you live, you can get a 20-minute phone call for only 99 cents.
He's right. Just dial 1010-220 and all calls up to 20 minutes are only 99 cents, just 7 cents a minute after that. No fees, no signing up. Just dial 1010-220.
Now that's cool.
Started saving for your kids' college education before they were born. Your wife still thinks of you as her knight in shining armor. And the neighbors know your door is always open. So it comes as no surprise that your auto parts are AC Delco. When the right way is the only way. AC Delco Automotive Parts.
Hi, I'm Tammy. What do you look like? I'll take it.
Me too.
Back at Watkins Glen International, we're about ready to go back to green flag racing after 2 laps of caution here as David Green got stuck down in turn number 1 after sliding off course. P.J. Jones will be your race leader. Word from NASCAR officials is Mike Dillon's going to have to go to the back of the pack. The Lexington, North Carolina resident was in the 21st position, but the tire got outside the pit box, and that's a no-no. Green flag is flying. Now you know it. We're underway on lap 15. Mike McLaughlin takes a look inside. He's in the 2nd position. With Ron Hornaday, he's trying to get under Butch Leitzinger in the 30. And I think he's got it.
Nice move by Ron Hornaday.
Move Hornaday up to 3rd. He stayed out as well. All these guys in the front stayed out. Tommy Hubert, who's running 5th in this freight train.
Well, the first car, there are 9 cars that stayed out. The first 9 cars stayed out. Kevin Harvick is in 10th, and he's the first guy that pitted, he pitted 2 laps before Ron Fellows.
The Napa Field summary in the upper left-hand portion of your screen lets you know what the points position changes would be as of now. On board with Mike McLaughlin. Magic Shoes has a great record at this racetrack.
And Ron Horner clearly wanting to make something happen here on this restart. Nice pass on Butch Leitzinger down into turn 1. And keep in mind, it takes a lap and a half for these tires to fully come back up to temperature.
And look out, he's trying underneath.
Where Mike McLaughlin has run a very familiar chassis here the last few years. This year, he's got a brand new race car. The 11-year-old chassis that he did so well with belongs to another team. This year, Innovative Motorsports had to put together a brand new car for him to come to this racetrack, and they did it in about 3 days. They've been repairing so many cars that they haven't had time to do it, according to John Monson, the crew chief. But this one works pretty well, too, and we know that Magic Shoes is magic at Watkins Glen.
Tommy Hubert got around the 30 of Butch Leitzinger to take over the 4th position.
With a really aggressive move down into turn 1. Very late, very hard on the brakes.
Hubert in his 4th career Busch Series start, and he has done well on the road courses before. We've seen him in the Truck Series perform very well, especially at places like Sears Point. There is Mike McLaughlin. Boy, he really needs to have a great run here. And the road performance here, this is the spot where he could do it. He has 1 win back in '97. But notice this, the 5 top 5s, they've been in consecutive years as he has just been dominant here on this racetrack. His average finish 8.4. That includes the 1st in '97, a 2nd in '98, and a 3rd in '96 and '99, and then a 4th back in '95. So Magic Shoes, as Dave Burns said, has been very magical on Watkins Glen. Word from the pit lane is that David Green had brake problems. That's what sent him off course down in turn 1. He is behind the wall, so now we know exactly what happened. And look at this, the battle for 3rd. Hubert trying to go over, and he forces the Napa Chevrolet of Fellows, or of Hornaday off course, and he loses 2 spots. So Ron Hornaday drops back to 5th.
And Ron Hornaday didn't want to give that spot up and was playing some hardball there and got forced off the racetrack and ends up losing 2 spots.
On board with Hornaday and the Napa Chevrolet.
You can see how much of the right side of that car goes over that first curve.
Butch Leitzinger right in front of him. Leitzinger gets a better exit coming out of the outer loop. Starts to pull him down that straightaway. Let's go on board, show you what happened to Ron Hornaday.
Now they're already deep into the braking zone here. Hubert comes up the inside here, and there's nowhere for Hornaday to go. And what he needed to do there was just give up that position, but he didn't want to. And there was just nowhere for him to go. He gets forced off the racetrack, keeps it out of the gravel, but loses 2 positions. 1 to Hubert and 1 to Butch Leitzinger. And Hubert now up to 2nd.
Yes, Hubert has gotten around, taking the 2nd position from Mike McLaughlin. And while all this is going on, there's a guy by the name of Ron Fellows that's got the bit between his teeth. Take a look there. You got the 25 and the 33 going together. But a little bit further back, Ron Fellows has moved into the 9th position. Can you believe that?
Well, he was 11th coming off that restart. Harvick, there he is with Harvick, and Harvick is actually the guy that is in great shape right now. That move that Kevin's Harvick team made was a great move because really these guys are within 2 laps of each other on a fuel strategy. So Kevin Harvick in great shape right now.
They're sort of freight training their way through this field. The margin from that position, the 8th spot where Harvick is located, is 7 seconds behind the race leader. That's turn 10. They'll make their way through the final right-hander, turn 11, and onto the front straightaway. P.J. Jones, his lead right now, 0.6 of a second over Tommy Hubert. So we got an interesting little race shaping up here at the Lysol 200. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back to Watkins Glen right after this.
Go, your hometown rent-to-own store with better prices, faster delivery, and the personal service the big city stores just don't have. Look at these great values. A washer and dryer pair starting at just $22.99 per week. Brand name TVs starting at $6.99 per week. Bunk beds starting at only $12.99 per week. And sofas and chairs starting at only $19.99 per week. Rent and Go in the Super Value Plaza, just off Route 7, Virginia. Don't shop in the big city. Stop at Rent and Go.
Caterpillar C-Series integrated tool carriers. The ultimate in machine versatility. Consider the possibilities. It's time to get attached to a Cat C-Series. Give us the opportunity to exceed your expectations. We're Southworth Milton, your Caterpillar dealer.
NASCAR's top drivers will have to hold on tight if they want to conquer the twists and turns of the road course at Sears Point Raceway. The Save Mark Cragen 350, today at 4 on ESPN.
The road trip rips into the desert, where an NL West battle heats up. Todd Helton muscles the Rockies against Steve Finley and the D-backs. The ultimate road trip rolls on. Rockies Diamondbacks, tonight at 8 on ESPN.
You know, Robert Yates, Todd Parrott, the whole 88 team, they're not just people I work with, they're like family to me.
Families are real important in NASCAR. My father got me into it, and now it's my turn. Hey, can I borrow the keys to your car this weekend? No.
Families are great support, but I compete with my brother. So do the Burtons, the Wallaces, we all want to win.
Hey, look, I love my brothers, but I'm not going to let them pass me on Sunday.
This is NASCAR.
Dad. No.
Coming up tonight on RPM tonight, it's Busch highlights right here from Watkins Glen, Winston Cup highlights from Sears Point, and kart highlights from Portland, all on ESPN2 at 9:30 Eastern with Reese Davis. That's tonight. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com. Got a pass for the lead. Can you believe this? Tommy Hubert and P.J. Jones all over him trying to get it back.
Well, Hubert has been on a tear since we came off that yellow. We saw him go by Hornaday, and now he's gone up into the race lead, and he's made all three of those passes down in turn one, and we're going to have a look at the pass. And he gets a good shot off turn 11. You can see the nose dive down there when he goes to the brakes. He's very aggressive on that brake pedal, and a real textbook pass there by Tommy Hubert. P.J. Jones driving off the racetrack just for the fun of it there.
Two still locked in the battle. They're coming out of the outer loop, heading for turn 10. The margin back to third is about 3 seconds. Amy, you've got more on Tom Hubert?
Yeah, Marty, some of the pit strategies that are playing out down here, remembering that Tom Hubert did not stop. This was part of their original plan. They feel they're going for the halfway strategy. They plan on trying to make this on one stop, knowing that Tom is very comfortable on the road courses. An old road course racer himself. This is his third time in this car, and this will be his final appearance. A new driver will take over at Milwaukee, so they're hoping to get a victory for the AT&T car from Tom Hubert today.
Well, to make halfway, he's got 20 more laps to go. Now the battle for third is heating up. Mike McLaughlin's under attack from Butch Leitzinger. We're on board with McLaughlin.
And you can see Leitzinger lifting that wheel a little bit. These cars pretty soft on the springing, and they will tend to lift that inside front wheel.
Napa Field summary, the manufacturer's points battle right now. See where the top Fords are. Well, you can see the 30 is carrying that left front on those left-hand corners.
As these teammates duke it out, Butch Leitzinger told me just before we got going today that he was comfortable in the car. This is not the first stock car he's run on a road course, but it has been a little while, and Butch is comfortable in this car after they've tweaked it little by little each session. He said when he first stepped into it, it wasn't all that good, but each time he got a little more comfortable. They threw some more at it just before, after happy hour, during happy hour last night to get it ready for today's race, and one final change Butch felt it would be good, and it looks like it is.
Well, of course, Butch, one of the guys that was racing at the 24 Hours of Le Mans last weekend in a very, very different type of car, a Cadillac LMP car, which would be a mid-engine car, open cockpit, very, very different from a Busch car. Of course, Ron Fellows was there as well in a Corvette, a front-engine car, and those guys both had reasonably successful runs at the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Looking at Ron Hornaday right now, currently running in the 5th position, has lost contact with Leitzinger and McLaughlin. He's about 2 seconds there. Andy Santerre, let's give Andy a nod because he's under attack from Ron Fellows, but he is up to the 6th position after starting 19th. Now, he too has tried the one-stop strategy, trying to get to the halfway point. He has stayed out, but Fellows is right behind him, knocking on the door. And we're on board with Ron, currently running in the 7th position.
And Ron Fellows did get around Kevin Harvick, and Harvick is a few seconds behind Fellows now. You can see him just coming out of the loop there.
Let's get more on Andy Santerre, Dave Burns.
Marty, he's working with a brand new crew chief this week. Greg Ely has taken over the crew chiefing responsibilities after Team Renzi moved their Busch operation from York, South Carolina, up to Charlotte, where their truck operation is. Now, David Ift set up this car. David is still helping Team Renzi, but he's no longer traveling to the races. So Greg Ely takes over, and Andy Santerre says Greg's good to work with, and the combination has worked well so far this weekend.
And Andy's
on a one-star strategy, dude, so we're right in the game.
That's the 87 radio. Brian Patty letting him know that Andy's on one-stop strategy.
Remember, Fellows did not change tires, so these guys are at the same point in terms of tire wear. Fellows carrying a little bit more fuel.
Here we go. He's looking down on the inside, and he takes the position on the inner loop. So move Ron Fellows up to the 6th spot. Andy back to the 7th. We're back with more of the Lysol 200 right after this.
You guys are hot.
Take 2. Wait for me.
Where do you want to go for dinner?
I was thinking maybe Bob Evans, of course.
Did you hear their kids' meals are just $1.99?
I've never heard of it. I don't know about that. I only know how yummy the food is.
Bob Evans' kids' meals are yummy, with 11 wholesome, kid-friendly favorites, all priced at just $1.99. But you knew that, right?
No.
Yep, 11 yummy favorites, all for just $1.99.
Can't beat Bob Evans.
Nothing like food and water stolen from a precious little azalea.
Thanks for the meal, Red.
Ain't nobody gonna spray us now with all these delicate flowers around.
Right, Red?
Say, what's that?
Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
Your dream home. It's all yours. What a nightmare.
Honey, wake up. Yeah, the appraiser, remember?
With HUD's FHA Homebuyer Protection Plan, you get the right loan, a fair price, and a thorough appraisal. If any problems are found, you'll know about them before you close. 30 million Americans have trusted us to build their dreams. Call for information on HUD Homes and FHA loans. HUD and FHA are on your side.
If you're into baseball, get into baseball today. Tune in every Sunday at noon on ESPN2 to catch up on the week's action and look ahead at what's to come. For all the scores, stats, and breaking news, join the best team in baseball on Baseball Today.
Mike McLaughlin and Butch Leitzinger in for pit stops. Dave?
McLaughlin's team goes to the left side immediately. They're going to fuel the car. No changes right now for McLaughlin. Also, Butch Leitzinger in. They are teammates, remember. A little trouble getting the left side up. Now they're going to put on the left side tires. Looks like no adjustments for Leitzinger as well. 4 tire change now for Mike McLaughlin, and it's going to be 4 as well for Leitzinger. Under green flag, it's a great move. 20.6 for McLaughlin. And Leitzinger still in here now. Right side's going on. And Butch Leitzinger lights up the tires and leaves.
Well, we have 57 laps to go, so there's no way they can make it on one stop, but maybe they felt they were giving up too much track position with the tires that they had.
Well, it's quite possible. It's a bit of a peculiar strategy because they had run 25 laps. They should have had at least another 10 laps in that tank.
Randy LaJoie, we're on board with him right now, the Bob Evans Chevrolet, 27th position, and a report that he may be having some smoke coming out of the number 1 car, although we can't see it just yet.
And the other report we had heard that was P.J. Jones might have a problem with a sticking throttle. So that's the last thing you want to have in one of these race cars is a sticking throttle.
That's Mike Wallace in the Lear UAW Ford right in front of him. Wallace finished fourth yesterday in the truck race. And he is around him, so move Randy LaJoie up a spot, give him the 24th position. LaJoie started on a provisional back in 35th, so he's improving, but he's still got a long way to go. We move towards the front of the racetrack again. Some of the cars making their way around. There is Ron Hornaday and Ron Fellows right behind him. So this is a battle for third on the racetrack. So Fellows continues his march towards the front. He's gotten around Andy Santerre, and of course Kevin Harvick, Tony Raines, Elton Sawyer all behind as well.
And right now, these two, of course, not too far behind P.J. Jones, just 2 seconds off P.J. Jones, who, as I said before, we had heard may have a problem with the sticking throttle. So look at Hornaday, hangs the wheel off at the apex there down at turn 1.
Well, Hornaday's no stranger to duking it out with Ron Fellows. They've done it a couple of times in the truck series, not only here at Watkins Glen, but out at Portland as well, Sears Point a few years ago. Well, I tell you what, how would you like to be P.J. Jones when Fellows finally gets around Hornaday here, and it's just a matter of time? You look up in your mirror and you say, holy smokes, he's right back there behind me. Hornaday doing a good job, though, here through the inner and outer loop, maintaining station. Another Napa Field summary. Points position changes if the race ended right now. Hornaday coming off 2 top 10 finishes in the last 2 races. They're still feeling themselves out as far as this team. You know, they came together as a unit from the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. They've had good races. Ron told me, he said, the tracks I didn't think I'd do well is where we've done our best.
And it's funny, you know, because a guy like Hornaday, who's not done a lot of road racing, and a lot of these other guys will say, well, I'm not a road racer. But the bottom line is these guys are racers. Fellows looked like he was making the move there, and he did make the move. And a lot of these guys say, I'm not a road racer, but the bottom line is a guy like Ron Hornaday is just a good race car driver, and he figures it out. He gets the job done, and that's why he's up here running right now in 4th place. Even though a guy like Fellows can get around him, Ron Hornaday is just a good race car driver, and he'll figure it out.
There's Tony Raines. For a second chance, we've had to look at the Alka-Seltzer Plus Leave Chevrolet. Tony, another graduate of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. The stepping stone system working well between these series, and Harvick right in front of him. Tony, in fact, that was Tony's truck yesterday that Ron Fellows drove to a 3rd place finish. Tony won 3 times in that truck, and it was a short track truck.
Yeah, that was a truck owned by Kurt Rohrig, and it actually had a shot at winning that race yesterday. They had some radio problems, and they had a bit of a pit strategy problem, but that truck could have won that race yesterday.
Tony Raines started 23rd, currently up to the 6th spot and doing very well. Let's move a little bit further back to the 7th position, and that's Elton Sawyer, the Lysol CBS Ford, and one of the few Fords in the show. And Elton, of course, with this being the title event, had a lot of activities going on, and he's one of the many who is saying, please don't rain. His wife, Patty Moise, has driven the rain quite a bit. If I was kidding him, I said, if it does rain, you think you can throw Patty in the car? He says, I'd like to do that. Dave, you got more?
Well, Marty, Patty's down here, but I didn't see her helmet in her hand. So Elton's very happy with their road race program now. He knows that for 2 reasons he's a whole lot better. They came up here and tested last year and this year, which makes him that much better. But also his crew has done a lot of work to better their braking program and also the weight distribution on the car. And Elton knows it's a lot more balanced Ford Taurus that he runs this year.
Well, and he said also in that conversation, I like the fact Ron Fellows is here because it has raised the bar for all of us, and everybody has had to step up their program. And this is one of the teams that's answered the call. The sad part about it is it's the only road course race that the Busch Series runs all year. Moving a little bit further back in the field, we'll go past Elton Sawyer and pick up the 66, the Phillips 66 Chevrolet. That's Todd Bodine. He's got a license plate for him now. He's one of the three Bodine brothers. New York just put a series of license plates out with their car numbers, vehicle numbers, and here comes P.J. Jones. Peeling off into pit lane, Dave Burns, he's heading your way with 52 laps remaining.
And he's had to get innovative out there on the track. He's been running in a lower gear to keep the comfort level with that throttle sticking, but at the moment his report is that the throttle is not sticking, so the situation may have corrected itself. Crew Chief George Church chooses to bring him in now and make a four-tire change. No adjustment on the car at this point. Fuel obviously has had such a big issue in this race. So 4 tires for P.J. Jones, and they will send him back out.
Yeah, P.J. said earlier this weekend that George Church has made a huge difference in their program as he has really taken control of this team. And they're coming off a tough race at Myrtle Beach, but his best on the short oval, 17th. But this is his one day to shine. He is a road course ace. Let's move back up front. There is your race leader, Tommy Hubert, using all of the racetrack. He makes his way through the outer loop. There's your leaderboard here at the Lysol 200.
It's more than just a way to mow your lawn. It's a connection to 163 years of hard-earned truths passed down from the Great Plains to your backyard. It's the technology of the most advanced farm equipment in the world, helping you care for your own private piece of the planet. It is John Deere Solid, and now it can be yours for less than $2,000. The LT-133. See for yourself. Nothing runs like a Deere.
When I'm working on my car, I don't have time to fool around. Everything's got to perform, like these Scott shop towels. They're strong, sturdy, work like cloth at a fraction of the cost of these. Did you ever try to wipe up a mess with a greasy towel? With Scott shop towels, you just grab a fresh, clean towel for the tough, messy work. Anything that makes this job a little easier is a big relief. Scott shop towels, on a roll or in a box. The performance of cloth at a fraction of the cost.
Oh, yes, a brilliant move. Galway scampering across the goal to stop it. They just couldn't seem to get enough players forward before. He's showing good fluid movement. Right, left. This is another aggressive shot. Down the flank. He's timed his run to absolute perfection. 2 defenders to beat. He's passed one. Is it looking like a chance? Yes, he takes the shot in.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Americans love power. And they love their high-performance Briggs & Stratton engines. That's why just about every neighborhood in America is a Briggs & Stratton neighborhood. Briggs & Stratton. The power that works for you.
Back at the Lysol 200, Marty Reed along with Jeremy Dale, Dave Burns and Amy East in pit lane. You're on board with Ron Fellows now up to second position. That's lap traffic. Justin Labonte in the Slim Jim car that he's going by, and he's about 4 seconds behind Tom Hubert. Now, he has had a ton of success here at Watkins Glen. Ron Fellows has sort of been the master of this track. He has wins in the Truck Series in 97 and 98, followed by a Busch Series win in 98 as well. And he is the defending race winner coming into this year's truck race, finished 3rd yesterday. He's been duking it out with Greg Biffle and the boys several times. And last year, of course, Dale Earnhardt Jr. just got him by 1.1 seconds on the last lap to win here and move him into 2nd place. He's in 2nd place right now.
Well, he tried for the double last year. He was trying for the double this year, and of course had that tough race yesterday. Of course, he got into a truck yesterday that he had literally never driven on the racetrack.
And at one point ran a 14.8, which was 0.4 of a second off the pole position. Take a look at his career at Watkins Glen. In 3 races coming into this weekend, he had the 1 win, the 2 poles, led 106 laps. That's now up to 119. And we told you about the Truck Series victories. And he's also won 2 Trans Am races here at Watkins Glen.
They might have to rename this place.
We'll have to think of a good one. The Glen Master. How about that? Sit right up there on the screen. He is now 3.6 seconds behind as of the last lap, and they're getting ready to cross the stripe one more time. It's We're getting closer to the halfway mark. There goes your race leader right there in the AT&T Pontiac. That is Tommy Hubert, and the margin has cut substantially, 2 seconds.
Yeah, Hubert ran into traffic on that lap, but you can see, look at the difference in those two cars as they come out of turn one there. Hubert using every bit of the curb, and he's going to get held up here a little bit going up the hill. This is going to hurt his momentum down the back straightaway. The difference, though, Hubert uses every bit of curb coming out of turn one. Ron Fellows just gets up on it and nudges it just a little bit.
And what you're saying is he's saving tires.
Well, he's saving tires, and he's got a very good race car, and, you know, and we did hear him on the radio. He sounds very relaxed, very confident. Look at Hubert, very sideways through the inner loop.
That's Bobby Hillen right behind him. He's a lap down. In fact, Hillen's in the 30th position right now.
Did you see Hubert there? Very wide, very sideways, coming down the hill.
I think he's got those good years cooking. We might be able to take care of cooking lunch on there. Fellows just has to bide his time here and wait for an opportunity on the front straightaway to get around Hillen. Then he'll set sail for the number 20 of Tommy Hubert. It's Jason Leffler going through your screen. He's the next victim to go a lap down to the race leaders. Another Napa field summary as you take a look at the rookie points. Fellows does complete the pass on Bobby Hillen. Whoa. Hubert, let's say he completes the pass for the race lead. Tommy Hubert's got those tires so cooked, he could not hold on to the track.
Well, he used a bit more road. You know, he'd used every bit of curbing on the last lap and used a bit more than every bit and falls off the road just a little bit, and that's all it takes for Ron Fellows to slide up into the race lead.
We have yet to hit the halfway point. We should point out that the clouds are getting a little bit darker off into the distance. Let's go back and take another look. Jeremy?
Well, we saw the lap before. You can see Hubert there very wide of the racing line already and does a good job, really, not to spin that car and to keep it pointed in the right direction, but loses the race lead and certainly feeling a little bit of pressure from Ron Fellows.
So Ron Fellows back in a very familiar position here at the Watkins Glen International, back in the race lead, and he makes his way towards turn 11 to complete another lap. We're going to take a commercial break as Ron Hill and the Bully Hill Vineyards team in control. Stay with us.
Heat-dissipating sidewalls. Extra wide tread for increased traction. All coming together to create exceptional performance. Design technology. Kumho.
Introducing the first Suzuki ATV, available in your choice of manual or automatic transmission. The Quad Runner 500, an all-new Quad Master 500. The choice is yours.
Get a Suzuki Quad Master 500, 0 down, 9.9% financing. Hurry, this offer won't last.
2 plays for $1. When I was a kid, a handful of nickels would keep the jukebox playing all night long.
Yeah, you know, you can't get much for $1 these days.
Yeah, but you can get all your long-distance calls for just 99 cents.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
He's right. Just dial 10-10-220 and all calls up to 20 minutes are only 99 cents and just 7 cents a minute after that. No fees, no signing up. Just dial 10-10-220.
Get yourself out of here. How do you like me now?
Now that Napa Auto Parts and accessories are available online, have we suddenly become hipper? Well, maybe a little. See for yourself at NapaOnline.com. Hey, Sparky, how many payments you got left on that minivan? You know, you could win this custom Pontiac Grand Prix pace car when you guess the margin of victory in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona, only at NapaOnline.com. Enter now, before it's too late.
We're under our second caution, and the team for the AT&T Pontiac and Tom Hubert are not very happy right now because it's their driver that brought it out. We were talking about Hubert having trouble cooking his tires. That's the end result.
Well, and this is down at turn 1, and while we were away, he spun at turn 1. So the first lap, we saw him using a lot of road. The second lap, Ron Fellows got off and then got by him. Then the third time by, he spun the car down there. There's the spin, keeps it on the racetrack. There's Hornaday, who comes around to get by him. And then the fourth time by, he gets down into turn 1, much too hot, and finally puts it down in the gravel trap.
Now, the point we really need to make here, he is on the same lap on tires that Ron Fellows is. Remember, Ron pitted at lap 14, but only took fuel.
Ron stopped, did not change tires. Hubert has not stopped yet. And yes, mileage-wise, they're at the same point. I think that Hubert really used his car, used his tires very hard to get by P.J. Jones to get the race lead and to try and stay in the race lead in front of Ron Fellows. Fellows has been more in the cruise mode, let's
And what
say.
does that say about Ron Fellows and his smooth driving technique to manage those tires? We'll be looking for some pit stops. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Champions agree. Prolong engine treatment has no equal in the world.
You know, I can't drive around town at over 300 miles per hour, but I still put my personal vehicles under a lot of stress. I count on Prolong for the ultimate in protection and performance.
The youngsters have used Prolong off the track for years because we know it works.
Nothing lubricates like Prolong. Its patented technology treats the engine, not just the oil. Prolong's a super lubricant. It bonds to the metal in your car's engines and helps reduce friction. There's nothing else like it.
I believe in Prolong. At home, I use it in every engine I have.
Prolong's great stuff. In fact, it's so superior to other engine treatments that they offer a lifetime limited product warranty for your engine. But if you want the warranty, you have to call Prolong.
Call today and get the details on the lifetime warranty.
Find out how using Prolong can help save you money. Call the number on your screen now. Prolong, no equal in the world.
Where you at, man?
That was right here. Pass the ball.
That was him, though. That was man.
Yo, man, you got
got
it,
it, man. Y'all can't catch my passes, and y'all need to be on the court.
Straight pass, man. Straight pass.
Still be still. Still be still. Still be still.
Today's Busch Series race, the Lysol 200, is being brought to you by Lowe's Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's improving home improvement. Dave Burns and Amy East patrolling pit lane. Up here in the booth with me is Jeremy Dale. I'm Marty Reed. Glad to have you with us here at the Lysol 200. We're under our second caution of the day as the number 20 AT&T Pontiac of Tom Hubert got caught down in the pea gravel in turn number 1. He has been pulled out and has refired and is making his way back around. I'm sure he will be coming in to get some fresh skins because he had basically worn them out trying to keep up with Ron Fellows. There is Ron Hornaday. Now, Hornaday in very good shape. He has yet to pit as well, and he's in the second spot.
Yeah, Hornaday looks like he's trying to one-stop this. We are just about to complete 39 laps.
We're 3 laps from the midway point. And there is Tom Hubert, and yes, he is leaking fuel, that looks like. That's not a good sign, so I'll have to take a look at that when he gets into pit lane. He looks like he's on the backstretch right there, trying to make his way around.
He's coming down towards turn 10.
So now we're making our way down to pit lane, and Fellows is going to stay out one more time. Hornaday is coming in, along with Kevin Harvick. Dave Burns, he's coming your way.
The Napa crew stands ready on the wall. Now they go off across to get Ron Hornaday in here. 4 tire change, half a pound of air out of each rear tire. He's tight coming in, tight leaving the corners. This should help Ron get through every corner here at Watkins Glen. Amy East.
Todd Barrier last brought his driver Kevin Harvick down pit lane on lap number 9. This was part of their strategy from watching the truck race yesterday. Now they've decided to change it a little bit. They're going to give him 4 tires and fuel, do the calculations, and see if they can maybe make it the rest of the way. Dave Burns.
Cody Raines is in. He nearly rolls off the jack, but they do get their 4 tire stop completed, and it was a chassis adjustment as well. He was tight everywhere at Watkins Glen. Raines is out.
A little bit of trouble on Tim Fafita was pit stop. air hose getting tangled up. And this strategy might work if you get one more yellow for 2 laps. That gets you inside your window.
Yeah, these guys would need a little bit of yellow, but right now... Oh, here's the 20 car. Let's go to Amy.
Well, Tom Hubert, a couple of laps before he started spinning all over the course, he had smelt something burning. We had just assumed that maybe the tires were gone. Turns out now they lost power steering, so he was fighting an ill-handling car. They're now under the hood to see what they can do. As soon as they assess whether or not they can get Tom back out there, they will give him some 4 fresh tires and fuel. And it looks as though that's going to be the call right now, as the crew, not moving very fast, knows that they have just now ended Tom Hubert's chances of finishing well today.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, are they aware of the fluid that was leaking out of the back? I don't know if they were watching the monitors down in the pits, but I'm sure maybe now that they're changing tires, they'll see the fluid there. We'll take a commercial break. We'll get things back to the green flag racing here at the Lysol 200 from Watkins Glen. It's getting awful gloomy out there.
Say, how about some blinds? Get them fast. Only Lowe's cuts the blinds you want with great brand names like Springs Faux Wood and Levelor. All in around 15 minutes. All at a guaranteed low price. Custom size now blinds. Now at Lowe's. Improving home improvement.
Now that Napa Auto Parts and accessories are available online, have we suddenly become hipper? Well, maybe a little. See for yourself at NapaOnline.com. Guess the margin of victory in this year's Pepsi 400 at Daytona, and you could win this custom Pontiac Grand Prix pace car. Play the Napa Online margin of victory game at NapaOnline.com. Get online and play now, before some computer weenie wins it.
Your own island hideaway. Your own coral reef. Your own private ski cove. Order any new 2000 Yamaha Wave Runner by June 30th, and you'll pay just $19.99 down, $19.99 a month, and 1.99% interest through January 1st, 2001. A small price to pay for a great summer. Yamaha. Solid thinking for a liquid world.
This weekend, the greats of the gridiron go stroke for stroke with Palmer, Watson, and the rest of the Senior PGA Tour. The 2000 Cadillac NFL Golf Classic. Coverage continues today at 2:30 on ESPN.
First wipers. Back here at Watkins Glen International, just about to complete our second caution period as we're making our way down towards turn 11. Ron Fellows is the race leader. We've had 3 different leaders, 3 lead changes. Tom Hubert, P.J. Jones have also led here at this race. But Fellows has been the guy to beat as he is in control of this race right now. Todd Bodine right behind in second place, and Jimmy Johnson has moved up to third. Those guys have yet to pit. And look at the number 7 making his way around there as well. That's lap traffic. Look out, 2 cars going off. Ted Christopher is the lap traffic in the 7th.
And P.J. Jones making some bold moves as well down into turn 1. And a lot of these guys know, even though there's a potential to race on rain tires, if we get to the halfway and this thing gets rained out, if it rains so hard that we can't race, the race is official. So you got to make some moves right now.
Look at this 3 wide going down into the inner loop. Hang on. Buckshot Jones in the double O. That's Elton Sawyer on the outside there. He has to clip it. Goes 2 wheels off, but manages to hold on. And now Elton will get past Buckshot. Still going to try 2 wide, coming through that corner.
Coming down the loop there, you can run 2 wide, but there's certain areas on this racetrack, especially the inner loop, where you just can't make it through 2 wide and carry any momentum through the corner. Of course, you can go 2 wide. Look at that. Turn 10, very fast corner.
Looked like, I thought it was maybe Kevin Grubb that got it off 2 wheels there in the 37 Timberwolf Chevrolet. There is Jeff Green right now. Green running in the 3rd spot. He's gotten around Jimmy Johnson there in the 92 Alltel Chevrolet. Let's get an update on the 92. We're at the halfway point, Amy.
Well, back on lap 12, Jimmy Johnson did come down pit lane. He did, just as Ron Fellows did at that time. He took fuel only, so he's still on the same tires that he started this race with. Now, they are going for halfway, which is where we are at right now. The team is discussing when they will have to stop again. They're calculating fuel mileage, probably not thinking for about another 10 or 15 laps.
Well, that's a good catch, Amy. Thanks for updating us. So the 92 at Jimmy Johnson still on some very used tires. There's Kevin Harvick in the AC Delco car trying to make his way around as well. Right now, Harvick in the 8th position. A lot of lapped vehicles interspersed because of the single file restarts. It's not like your normal NASCAR race where the lap vehicles move to the inside. Harvick's trying to deal with 2 lap vehicles there, and Harvick peels off with 40 laps to go. And he makes his way down pit lane. It's 35 miles an hour. And now I guess the question is, why wouldn't you have taken that gamble and done it under the yellow? And Amy, maybe you can find out an answer for us, because they're all flying by.
Well, remember, Todd Barrier decided to bring Kevin down on that yellow. They gave him 4 tires and fuel, but he was not sure about the calculations. This was just a guess for them. So Todd Barrier quickly calculated fuel mileage and knew that they just needed a splash more to go to the end.
Okay, all right. So he says, all right, we're going to make sure we've got enough fuel. We're not going to chance it. And so he's back out onto the racetrack, gives up a lot of position, but that may pay big dividends a little bit later because of one more yellow, and we've only had 2, and last year we had 8, to give you an idea. So the chances of another yellow are good. He'd pick all that position back up.
Yeah, I don't think Kevin Harvick, unless it rains and this race gets red flagged and doesn't restart, I don't think Kevin Harvick is in bad shape at all. He did take fresh tires at lap 38. They've got their splash. They're good to go.
There's Jeff Green.
The other thing about this, Marty, is that with all these guys, as you said, a lot of lap cars in this mix, with all these guys, with all the cutting and thrusting, less likely where Kevin Harvick is on the racetrack right now, less likely for him to get involved in some kind of incident out on the racetrack, and so really, it is the smart thing to do.
B.J. Jones, we're on board with that. Ooh, Ron Hornaday got a little...
Stand forward to stay after hard, bud. The 19's got new tires, so don't worry about him.
Watching PJ, we go on board. This is Travis Marcotte. He's running in the 15th position right now. In fact, he's just moved up a spot. Right behind him is Mike Dillon. Down through the inner loop. Now we go back. That's Casey Atwood leading this freight train through. Oh my, did they try that 2 abreast?
They did, in fact, try that 2 abreast.
If we see somebody, a big cloud of dust, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm amazed. It looks like they sorted it out quickly enough, though.
Well, like I said, you can do it, but you just can't carry any speed. I mean, that's one line right there. And you can do it, but it's going to cost you an awful lot of speed and an awful lot of time if you do it.
You just saw Kevin Harvick go through the screen, and the 86 now also making his way around the track. That's Dennis Demers. He is well down in 41st position. Now the battle for 3rd, P.J. Jones and Jeff Green. Green's got the position. Jones takes it away. Move P.J. up to 3rd. Jimmy Johnson has come in for his tire stop, Amy.
And he is going to be happy to have 4 fresh tires, remembering that the set he's been running on has been the set that he started on. This is going to be his last stop of the race. They know that they have enough fuel here to go the rest of the way.
So the pit stop progressing nicely, and the Alltel Monte Carlo makes his way back out on the track. Jimmy Johnson, of course, coming up through the off-road ranks, started the Mickey Thompson Stadium Series, was winning championships at the age of 15 and 16, then moved into the Championship Off-Road Course Series and did very well there, and then into ASA last year, Rookie of the Year there, and now into the Busch Series full-time with Stan Herzog and the Herzog Racing Crew. Has a bright future in front of him. Jeff Green's under attack from Ron Hornaday. That's for 4th. There's your race leader. There's Todd Bodine in 2nd. There's 3rd. That's P.J. Jones. And now 4th is Ron Hornaday. Move Jeff Green, our points leader, back to 5th.
And you saw just a little bit of smoke off the right front of Hornaday there just before he hung that right front over the curb at turn 1.
The clouds are still very dark here at Watkins Glen, but so far no rain at the Lysol 200. Stay with us.
You started saving for your kids' college education before they were born. Your wife still thinks of you as her knight in shining armor. And the neighbors know your door is always open. So it comes as no surprise that your auto parts are AC Delco. When the right way is the only way. AC Delco Automotive Parts.
Alrighty. Before we go on, I want to review last week's service. So let's go to tape. Ah, nice, tight formation. Oh, sloppy pass, Michael. Very nice. Oops, it's all in the wrists. You break away too early. And pick up the pace of the left flank and into the end zone.
Where do you want to go for dinner?
I was thinking maybe Bob Evans, of course.
Did you hear their kids' meals are just $1.99?
I've never heard of it. I don't know about that. I only know how yummy the food is.
Bob Evans kids' meals are yummy, with 11 wholesome, kid-friendly favorites, all priced at just $1.99. But you knew that, right?
No.
Yep, 11 yummy favorites, all for just $1.99.
Can't beat Bob Evans.
From the leader in ride control technology comes the latest in a long line of innovations. Introducing the revolutionary new Reflex Shock from Monroe. With impact sensor technology that shifts between firm and soft compression in just 12 milliseconds, combining superior comfort with a dramatic reduction in pitch and roll for maximum safety. Experience the new standard in comfort and control with a new Reflex Shock from Monroe.
We're back at Watkins Glen, where there has been a violent contact with the turn wall Armco. That is Jimmy Johnson's Alltel Chevrolet, our third caution of the day. Take a look and see what happened.
Well, coming to turn one, don't forget, he had just stopped. Watch this car move right here. Something breaks on that car. He just clears the trap.
Oh. And huge contact with the Armco. And watch as Jimmy climbs out of the car and says, yeah, guys, I'm okay. 24-year-old Lion from Mooresville now, formerly from California, and he's, well, that's amazing that he is not injured. Speaks a lot of the integrity of the cockpit.
Well, you've got not only that, but you've got the styrofoam down there, you've got the tire wall, and you've got that Armco, and the Armco really gave quite a bit. Look at how far back that Armco has been pushed there.
Well, also what helped dissipate it was the car actually climbed the Armco a little bit. If he'd have stuck in there stiff, it might have been a different story. So all the equipment did exactly what it should do. Jimmy Johnson may have a few bruises on his shoulders and a stiff neck tomorrow, but that's going to be the extent of the injuries because what an incredible impact. Let's go back and take a look slow-mo and see if we can see what broke on the car.
And you can see here, this is all pretty routine up to this stage, and it jerks to the right. And you can't, there's nothing obvious happening there, but of course, the car now gets launched right here, and it just pretty much clears the sand trap. There's nothing the trap can do at that point.
Look at that. I mean, Jimmy's a great off-road racer, but there's no way he could save that one.
Well, that was pretty remarkable.
Best news is Jimmy is okay. They've still got some flames coming out of the front of the car, and now the crews are working on it. Look at how much damage to the front end of the Alltel Chevrolet. And it's a shame because they were right on their pit strategy. They had a great pit stop. He had come back out onto the track with 4 fresh tires, and whatever broke on the car, he just had no control whatsoever. We're going to see some more pit stops now. We're working lap 47. We're past the halfway point, and here comes the race leader, P.J. Jones, right behind. Dave Burns, they're coming your way.
And the strategy for P.J. Jones, they may only do a 2-tire stop. They were talking about it, and they wanted to come in if the leaders did, and that obviously is the case. So that's what they're thinking right now. Again, no reports on the throttle sticking anymore. As Fellows now moves by, P.J. Jones brings the yellow freight number 19 in. They will go to the right side, and it doesn't look like they're rating the left side tire, so it looks like only a 2-tire stop for Jones. Amy East.
Jeff Green is going to get 4 tires and fuel. They had talked maybe of doing 2, but they decided that the 4 fresh rubber is what they were going to need because the last time they gave that to Jeff was back on lap 13. Dave Burns.
Elton Sawyer gives up track position to bring the Lysol forward in. They will change 4 tires. They're finished. He stalls the car now. The crew pushes the Aiken Motorsports number 98 out, and Sawyer's is gone.
And Ron Fellows had a very slow start, as he is well back into this field. We'll have to check and see what happened on the Bully Hill Vineyard Chevrolet, but it looks like he's going to have his work cut out for him to make his way back to the front.
I gave you total grip there, buddy. Total grip all the way around. And I loosened it up, turn right.
That's the 87 radio. Now, if you're into road racing and you love what we're doing here at Watkins Glen, then you're going to like what's coming up a little bit later today on ESPN2, the Cart FedEx Championship Series, the Freightliner GI Joe's 200 from Portland International Raceway. That's 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific, today on ESPN2. Back after this.
This summer, why go fishing when you could go to Pep Boys to catch big summer service savings? Come in for a Castrol GTX oil change with filter for $16.88. $16.88 for a Castrol oil change. Is this living or what? Our ASE certified technicians will install Raybestos brakes from just $69.99. We'll even do an AC quick check for only $19.88. Hurry in for Pep Boys summer service savings.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us.
I see a little silhouette of a can.
Mountain Dew, time to do the slam dunk go. Citrus taste and quenching, very, very exciting me. Fantastico, 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 Figaro. Here we go.
When you want the best of something, you have to ask for it by name. Otherwise, you get the house brand. For my money, Mobil One's the best, and today's Mobil One is even better. It's now tri-synthetic, so compared to conventional oil, well, in terms of protection, there's no comparison at all. Lots of oil change places have Mobil One. You just have to ask. The house brand, I wouldn't put it in my car.
Nothing outperforms Mobil One.
We got a hostage situation here. Bunch of soccer players just hijacked the network.
We're out of peanut butter crackers. Here, that's some fruit stripe gum.
Toby, why are you doing this?
Why? We're America's League. They gotta see it.
You shouldn't eat that stuff, man. It'll kill you.
What? Who's got prices over here?
MLS Soccer Saturday on ESPN and ESPN2.
We're under our third caution as it continues, and you can see the damage to the Armco and the Alltel Chevrolet of Jimmy Johnson being pulled away. Something broke on the car, sending Johnson hurtling into the Armco at turn number 1. Now, this is real time. We'll sit back and just be quiet. You can hear what happened, but we don't know what broke. Oh, what a contact. And Jimmy climbed out, stood on the roof of the car. Right there he was, letting the crowd and everybody know, I'm okay.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, but not in the Armco. And there's what's left of the Alltel Chevrolet making its way back. Now, oh no, it looks like we have an injury in pit lane involving Elton Sawyer's crew. Dave, what's going on?
Well, John Leslie is the front tire carrier for Elton Sawyer, and when he was coming around the front of the car, he tripped on the tire and twisted his knee. So right now they're checking him out. He's in a bit of pain, but it is the knee for John Leslie.
Well, we'll hope for the best. Ironic that hard contact for Jimmy Johnson. He walks away, and then coming around on a pit stop, we've got an injury. Now, we also, let's watch earlier, the previous pit stop. Watch on this camera right here, the left front tire changer gets tagged by Dylan's car, and we've had no update on the crew member there for Mike Wallace. Kent Peckham is his name, and the word now is he is okay. So it was just a glancing blow on that incident as well. And the point we should make is these guys do not normally pit with the stop on the right-hand side of the car. It reverses your entire process.
That's right. The car comes in, and normally you're seeing the other side of the car, and they're not used to this particular routine, and nor are the drivers for that matter. So, it is a bit of an unusual situation for these guys. And don't forget, these guys only do one road race a year in the Busch Series.
Yeah, the driver's sitting on the left side of the car, and normally he's right up against the wall. This time, of course, he's on the far side. So we're under our third yellow. It's continuing. Ron Fellows had a very slow pit stop. He's back in 20th position. Ron Hornaday is our race leader. Stay with us. This could be good.
Homeowners, get rid of that frustrating tangled trimmer line once and for all with the latest trimming technology. Introducing Flexi Trim. Easy to install, Flexi Trim uses new thermoplastic urethane cutting elements that easily snap into place and can last up to 10 times longer than ordinary trimmer line. Efficiently cutting through thick grass and weeds with its large diameter, Flexi Trim fits virtually every gas trimmer. Available at retailers of lawn, garden, and power equipment everywhere.
Someone you know has diabetes. Diabetes affects nearly 34,000 Vermonters. Diabetes has no cure yet. Hello, I'm Bill Wheeler. You can help find the cure for diabetes by joining us.
The Vermont Diabetes Golf Classic, June 26th at the Vermont National Country Club.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Sports Center. I'm Dan Patrick.
And I'm Rich Eisen. World's Strongest Man is next.
Totally tripped through that piazza highlight. Yeah, you were real graceful in the Did You Know.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm emotionally I can't bear to watch this. I left it all on the set.
Back at the Lysol 200, we're still under caution, our third of the day here at Watkins Glen International. We're riding on board with our race leader, Ron Hornaday, in the Napa Chevrolet. And he knows how to win at this racetrack. Remember the NASCAR Craftsman two-time series champion? Well, he won here in '96 and almost won again. But, well, he sort of jumped a restart. They took that one away. But he is poised to perhaps take his first Busch Series victory, as he is in the top spot as we take a look at our Napa field summary. Tony Raines in second. Curtis Markham giving it a good ride. Casey Atwood, the youngster, in fourth. Butch Leitzinger rounds out our top five. And then on down to P.J. Jones in 12th position. And you're saying, wait a minute, what happened to Ron Fellows, the guy that's been dominating this race? Well, as we turn to page 2, look in the 20th position. Fellows had a very slow pit stop. Dave Burns checked with the crew. They said, no, we just had a slow stop. We wanted to make sure everything was bolted on, and it's going to make it more interesting for all of us. As you can see, 34 trucks on the lead lap, and I should say cars. And boy, that's a twist.
We know where you've been working.
Yeah, too many truck races, and normally it's the other way around. So I'm sure Benny Parsons is out at Sears Point right now, laughing hysterically. PP will coming your way later today, and have fun out there. Let's go to Brian Patty with Dave Burns, get an update on Ron Fellows in that pit stop.
And Marty, he had to wait a long time to see his car finally roll by. Brian, you guys had a slow pit stop, but you told me you really didn't have any trouble?
No, these guys, that caution was pretty unfortunate for us, but it's no big deal. We're just going to pit next lap by. So, hey, 20th spot. We come from 38th yesterday and run third, so we can come from 20th here with 22 laps to go and possibly win it. We haven't pushed the envelope all day. We've just been cruising, saving our brakes, saving our tires. Tire wear is good. Fuel mileage is good, so we'll see what happens.
You put on 4 tires, so do you have to stop again for fuel then?
No, we're good to go. We just wanted to see what this tire wear was, so we're just being easy. And tires look excellent. Goodyear brought a good tire, and it'll be exciting.
Well, it will be. And as far as pushing the envelope, Jeremy, Marty, you and I, we were all there to watch him do it at Daytona earlier this year, trying to chase down the Vipers in his Corvette. I'm sure he can do the same with a few Tauruses and Monte Carlos out here today. And as you said, it's going to be exciting.
He finished second in that Rolex 24, and it was a dramatic finish at Daytona. Stay with us. We're still under caution here at Watkins Glen.
Big city, people spend a lot of money trying to look cool. But in the country, looking good can cost a lot of dough, too. At least no matter where you live, you can get a 20-minute phone call for only 99 cents.
He's right. Just dial 1010-220 and all calls up to 20 minutes are only 99 cents, just 7 cents a minute after that. No fees, no signing up. Just dial 1010-220.
Now that's cool.
Surprisingly affordable Leganza from Daewoo. At less than $19,000, no other car has taken luxury this far.
NASCAR drivers Ken Schrader and Horace Seth have teamed up for Federated Auto Parts.
We depend on a team of trained NASCAR professionals for performance and safety. And that's not easy. Every car and every track is different. Some of the drivers are different too, that's for sure.
If you're looking for top quality name brand parts and professional service you can trust, look for a Federated Car Care Center near you.
Just look for the Federated Car Care sign of distinction.
So that's 2 burgers and 2 shakes?
Yeah. You wanted a shake, right?
Velcro gaskets make any car feel high performance. So choose the gaskets NASCAR teams choose. Velcro.
Now get the Wall Street Journal delivered for 13 weeks at just 57 cents a day, or 25% savings. Call now, 800-255-6600. That's 800-255-6600 for the Wall Street Journal.
Just back to green flag racing at Watkins Glen on lap 51. Ron Hornaday, your race leader. Tony Raines in second. Curtis Markham third. Casey Atwood fourth. And we're on board with Curtis Markham. Joe Gibson corner table on in. Just a little breathe on the throttle going up the hill through the S's. Up to fourth gear. Pick up a nice little draft down the back straightaway, but it's all about braking at the end of this straightaway down into the inner loop. Ride the curve. Head for the outer loop. There's a little bit further back. There's Butch Leitzinger. He is in 5th position right now in his one-off Busch Series race. Hornaday's opened up a bit of a lead. He was always good on the restarts. That's never been a problem with him getting a jump.
No, very good on cold tires, Ron Hornaday is. And he's been good all day today. There is P.J. Jones.
He's going around Dale Quarterly in the number 5. Quarterly took over for Dick Trickle on the first yellow.
And P.J. was 11th on the restarts. And P.J. now up to 9th.
Napa Field summary in the upper left. That's Jay Sauter. We're on board. And he is right behind P.J. Jones. Oh, man, too wide. Hold on, guys.
And nice opportunity there for P.J. and Jay Sauter to get a run out of turn 1 up the hill.
Casey Atwood, the Castrol car. He's being passed right there. And Mike McLaughlin just got passed by the 36 of Tim Fedowa. And he's got his mirrors full of P.J. Jones. Going down the backstretch. My, this could get dicey. Up over the curves. Leitzinger has to hold on. Manages to keep control. We're on board looking out the back of Curtis Markham.
And that helped Kevin Harvick just a little bit. You can see Harvick right on the rear bumper of Butch Leitzinger.
Jeff Purvis normally in this car, but not a real great road racer. Curtis Markham working with the team, called in to do the duty, and doing very well. Under braking, looks like Curtis may lose the spot now. Leitzinger gets underneath him in turn 10.
And not the most conventional place to pass, but if you can get it done, you get it done. And Butch Leitzinger with a nice shot out onto the front straightaway here. So Leitzinger will move up into 3rd position.
Hornaday's lead is now 2.6 seconds. You're saying, hey, while all this is going on, where's Ron Fellows? He's already picked up 4 spots. He's 16th.
And P.J. Jones picks up another spot. So P.J. Jones up to 7th position.
On board with Mike McLaughlin. We're about to lose a decal, it looks like. Remember the incredible impact just a few moments ago with Jimmy Johnson? Amy East has caught up with him. Amy?
And it's so nice to be standing here with a healthy Jimmy Johnson after what was a very violent crash. What happened?
I don't know. That was unbelievable. We just made a pit stop and running, in our fuel window like we wanted to do. Car was handling great. Just came out of those pits and was getting up to speed, and I went off in the braking zone in turn 1, and I was on the brakes looking underneath the lapper, and the pedal went to the floor, or something happened there, and at that point I was trying to look for something to run into to slow me down. I got in the grass, and then I hit the racetrack, and that was like a jump, set me across the track and out in the barriers, and it's real fortunate everybody at Watkins Glen is taking the precautions of putting styrofoam out there, because if it was anything else, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably be an ambulance going somewhere, but tell my mom, everybody home, I'm doing fine, and we'll get this all told in the Fiat-Phone Chevrolet up front next week.
All right, well, it was nice to see you go over there and give your dad a hug. I know that all your family at home is probably really worried about you.
Yeah, I'm fine. Everything feels fine. I knew it was coming, so I got prepared.
Hey, I hate to be the first to tell you this, but you're probably going to be sore tomorrow.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. We'll get some aspirin.
All right, Jimmy Johnson in good spirits, and he is okay.
Jimmy's second DNF of the season, and it is good that he's okay. We're on board with P.J. Jones. The slicing and dicing at the front of this field is going on. That's Kevin Harvick right in front of P.J. The battle for third. That's Tony Raines trying to hold the position, but here comes Harvick underneath him. P.J.'s right alongside. This could get real dicey. Somebody blows through the chicane. Travis Marcotte had to blow the chicane.
And you cannot improve your position. As long as you don't improve your position, you're okay.
And he certainly didn't. There goes Kevin Grubb on by.
And these guys have got to be careful. Racing very hard right now, but we still have 29 laps to go. You don't want to burn the tires off the car at this early stage.
On board with P.J. Jones. There is Hornaday. Leitzinger in second by 2.8 seconds. Then Harvick is another 2 seconds back. Let's get an update on Kevin Harvick. Dave Burns.
The amazing thing on Harvick, guys, is that car is their Bristol short track car, and it wrecked real hard at lap 215 earlier this year at Bristol. They made it a road course car, but then again, not really. They didn't even move the battery or the track bar over like they normally would to convert it. Todd Berrier, the crew chief, told me, he said, hey, it's fast like it is. We tested with it, and Kevin loves the car.
Yeah, he's coming off his best run, as we pointed out earlier, the second place at Myrtle Beach. The Kid, as he was nicknamed when he was racing so early. He's still young, 24, but I don't know if many people are still calling him the Kid. Right now, he's opened up a bit of a gap over the 19 of P.J. Jones. Whoa, P.J. looked a little loose there. Now, let's go back to Curtis Markham when he blew through the inner loop.
So there is the trouble in front of him. That's P.J. Jones, and look at there they are. So certainly he lost about 4, maybe 5 positions there.
I was wondering if he lost something in the motor. Maybe missed the shift, because it sounded like we didn't hear the R's come up.
I think what he did there, he saw those guys drive in there side by side. He said, you know what, I just don't want to be involved in this. I'm just going to go straight. And of course, it may have been the right thing to do, but in this case, it was the wrong thing to do.
A lot of traffic going on behind. There is Ron Fellows, and he has picked it up to 12th position. He is right in front of our points leader. We talked about both those guys at the beginning of the show. Jeff Green running right behind him.
Ron Fellows also has to be careful not to abuse his tires. Just pick your way through these cars. He knows he's got a good race car. He certainly knows his way around this racetrack.
Oh, we had somebody going through the gravel. That is Dale Quarterly. It looks like he's put a little damage on the Schneider Chevrolet.
Well, is he dropping some fluid on the racetrack?
He might be. Might be. Meanwhile, there is your race leader, Ron Hornaday, in the Napa Chevrolet. He continues to open up the margin, and it's easy to spot the Bully Hill Chevrolet of Ron Fellows. He's coming up on Casey Atwood right there. Very bright yellow nose. There's Jeff Green. He's got his hands full now with Tony Raines. Don't think Green's going to get his 3rd victory in a row, but realistically, he didn't think he was going to get it here either. He just wants to get in the top 5, maintain that points pressure on everybody else in the championship chase. Now he's looking underneath Tony Raines, heading down in turn number 1, and it looks like he's got it. Yes. There's Jeff Keller, or Jason Keller right behind him.
Their Raines never gets down to the apex, never gets a shot off the corner.
I'll show you what happened to the 5. Oh, it looked like a little contact, got a little help. Randy LaJoie gets through.
With a little help on the grass there.
So now we know what turned the car around of Dale Quarterly. Look at the donut on the 3 car. That's familiar from watching years of racing with Ron Hornaday in the Truck Series.
And look at Kevin Harvick pushing his way up to Butch Leitzinger. So Harvick doing a great job.
Amy, you've got an update on Ron Hornaday?
Well, the entire Napa Chevrolet crew was very excited until 1 lap ago when Ron Hornaday came down the front stretch. They thought they heard something in the engine, possibly loss of a cylinder, although it does not look like he is slowing down very much on the course. Right now, they're trying to talk to Ron and see if that 3 is going to be up to par for the rest of the race.
We have got a yellow flag going out. It will be our 4th caution, and that's the reason why, as the number 90 has taken it off course. That's Mike Stefanik, the 2-time in a row, both Busch North, Featherlight Northwest Tour, and that's in the inner loop there. And he is up to the axles as well. So that's going to get everybody out as far as the tow trucks are concerned. So we go to yellow again here, working lap number 58 here at Watkins Glen International. Stay with us. We'll take a commercial break. Get back to racing as soon as we can.
Just because you're in front doesn't mean you sit back and watch the others try and catch up. If you can make a great thing better, you do it. And that's what they've done with today's Mobil 1 Tri-Synthetic. That's a bit of a mouthful, but basically it means Mobil 1 protects against engine wear better than ever before. Helps your anti-pollution gear work better too. To me, using anything less just isn't an option.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
Bad cheetah.
See? That's why I'm not a cat person.
Hi, I'm Tammy. What do you look like?
I'll take it.
Me too.
Are you waiting to receive future payments from lottery winnings, lawsuit insurance settlements, or privately held mortgages, but need the cash now? Then why wait? This is the only number you need. Call Stone Street Capital at 1-800-WHY-WAIT and get a free, no-obligation confidential quote. It's that easy. You get the most competitive prices and great service. So why wait? To get cash today, even just enough to get to your next payment, call 1-800-WHY-WAIT, extension 500.
Back here at Watkins Glen, as Mike Stefanik is being pulled out of the gravel pit area in the inner loop, and he's got a lot of dust and dirt on that Monte Carlo. A little bit later today, 3 o'clock Eastern time, in fact, over on ABC, the PGA Tour, Round 4, the FedEx St. Jude Classic, the final at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC Sports. That's definitely golf music. That's not auto race. That's great golf music. That is. On board with Ron Hornaday, and he is coming down pit lane. And Amy had an update just before we went yellow that they were worried about something possibly going south in the motor because his lead, Amy, did deteriorate right before the yellow came out. It went down to 1 second. So I don't know if you found out anything else, but he's coming your way.
Well, it looks as though they are going to give Ron Hornaday 4 fresh tires and fuel. They think that now they hope that there is not a problem in the motor, but rather just an ill-handling car for Ron Hornaday, and they think that the 4 fresh tires will hopefully help him out.
So under caution, they take their time, make sure everything goes smoothly, and they bolt them on. Now an adjustment up front. Whoa, hood's going up. That's not a good sign. Amy, what are they looking at?
Yep, that's exactly what's going on down here. Ron said, no, we need to go under the hood, and that's what they're doing now. It looks like there's some steam coming out from underneath the hood. Sammy, Gonzalez and the entire crew is looking, although I don't think they really know what they're looking at. They seem to just be feeling and touching and hoping that all the plug wires and everything is intact, and hope that hopefully they can get Ron back out.
Well, the work continues on the Napa Chevrolet. It'd be such a disappointment at this stage. Hornaday had driven a marvelous race to get to this position, and it looks like he's not going anywhere in the all-too-distant future as he's opening up the water bottle. Work continues.
Yeah, they were having a great day, and they were in a position where we felt they had enough fuel to get to the end. They had a good race car, even though Leitzinger and Harvick were closing that gap down. So a real disappointment here for Ron Hornaday.
Yeah, you can see the guys as they just are puzzled. Our new race leader will be that man right there, the number 30 for Butch Leitzinger. He'll become our 5th different leader of the day. Dave Burns, what's the strategy on the 30 car?
Both Butch and his teammate Mike McLaughlin came in on lap number 39 and took on 4 tires and fuel. Spoken with both crew chiefs now, including Leitzinger's Joe Peary, and Joe tells me they can make it on fuel, but they had to have these yellow flag laps.
Well, and there's probably a lot of cars that are in that position as they were hoping for that one more yellow. Last year we had a total of 8, and this is only our 4th. Not that we want any more, because we still have the threat of rain, and none of the guys want to see this thing be slowed down by a rain race and strapping on the rain tires. Butch Leitzinger, who, as we pointed out, just came back from Le Mans, running for the Cadillac program there, has run several times, one at the Rolex 24, one at Sebring, a very good road racer.
And certainly, being from Pennsylvania, he knows this racetrack very well as Ron Hornaday rolls his way back out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, now Hornaday has not lost a lap. He is on the lead lap. But so are 33 other cars. Amy?
Broken valve spring for Ron Hornaday and the Napa Chevrolet team. So unfortunately for Ron Hornaday, in every appearance he has had here at Watkins Glen, he has posted a top 5 finish in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He's not going to post the top 5 today.
Tough break for the Napa Chevy crew, as the valve spring will certainly prohibit them from working their way back to the front. He'll get as many points as he possibly can. Meanwhile, the lights are out on the pace car. Butch Leitzinger in his 4th Busch Grand National appearance. Finished 15th here in '96, 24th back in '94. Right now, he's in the best position possible up front, but a little bit further back, right there. There's the 87 of Ron Hornaday, and we're back to green flag racing here at Watkins Glen in the Lysol 200.
Hey, Butch Leitzinger is going to come under a lot of pressure here on the run down to turn 1. Kevin Harvick, P.J. Jones lined up behind him. P.J. pops out on Harvick.
Whoa, and this could get real dicey. That is the tightest line that I've ever seen anybody run, and P.J. Jones pulls it off, and he moves in the 2nd spot.
Great move by P.J. Jones.
So the 2 veteran road racers lead, and not too far in the distance, right there on the left of your screen, is Ron Fellows. He'll try and pick up 2 or 3 spots down this back straightaway. Looks like he's got 1. That's Kevin Grubb. He's going around. And in, he's slicing and dicing and picks off the 43 of Jay Sauter as well. Next victim is Todd Bodine.
Good choice of words.
I'm sure when Todd looks up and sees that nose, he feels the same way.
Well, it's good. These guys are keeping Ron Fellows very honest here. I mean, he has had a very good race car. The team has been doing a great job, but Ron Fellows is going to have to work if he wants to win this race.
Yeah, he has not run away from the field. Couldn't do it yesterday. And meanwhile, look, we've got a slow car on the track. No wonder Bobby Hillen's got a problem in the left rear. And there's part of the problem is the debris of what's left of the tire that is shredded off. Now, I don't know if that's going to bring out another yellow. Meanwhile, look at all this going on. We got a battle for the race lead. This is real dicey. Through the S's. Oh, contact. PJ's on the guardrail. Can he hold on to it?
And there's that tire right there on the back stretch. And that's the problem you get into. Look at Ron Fellows. All these guys swarming around P.J. Jones. That's a 130-mile-an-hour hit there.
Fellows clips the curb. PJ's got damage on both sides of the yellow freight Chevy. And I don't know if he's rubbing or if he's knocked the toe or how good that car is going to be. No, he's got a real problem. He goes way wide there. He loses another spot, the 36, and Fiedler gets underneath him.
Well, it would be hard to believe that that car, P.J. Jones, is not pretty seriously damaged after taking the hit in the left front from Leitzinger and the big right side pancake there on the Armco.
Well, you can't even read the Goodyear on the right side tires. That's how hard he hit the Armco. And that is the fastest section of the racetrack when you're talking about those S's with any kind of curve to it.
And see, look at Leitzinger. Leitzinger goes to the brakes, gets a little bit of lockup, so that makes you wonder, as Ron Fellows picks up another position, that makes you wonder what kind of shape Butch Leitzinger's car is in.
On board with Mike McLaughlin as he has been passed by Ron Fellows. Move Fellows into the 4th position. Jones has dropped back to 7th. This is the section where the contact took place through the S's. And yeah, there is smoke. So under braking, maybe there's some tire rub because of the contact, as you said.
Well, you can see there, and it's probably when he goes to the brake, he gets a little bit of tire rub. That transition, when the car goes down on its nose, he gets a little bit of tire rub on that right front.
Great shot, guys. We're able to see the damage on the number 30 car of Butch Leitzinger. Started 7th. Led 3 of the laps so far. We've had a total of 5 lead changes. What's the word from the 30 pit, Dave Burns?
He spoke with his crew chief, Joe Peary, and he says that Butch realizes that he has the damage and the tire smoke, but for now they're going to keep him out. So he can feel that it's there, but obviously he's still leading, so the car's that good.
Harvick takes 2 wheels off, kicks up the dust, trying to make a speedy exit out of turn 11.
I think he took all 4 off there. He used every bit of that curve, but it didn't really slow him down a whole lot. Look at this. Todd Bodine has managed to stay in front of Ron Fellows.
Bodine doing as good a job as he possibly can in the Phillips 66. Best average finish in the field here at Watkins Glen, 4.2. He likes this racetrack. The Shimon, New York native. We mentioned a little earlier about the celebration of the new license plate, one of 15 that New Yorkers can get. There's PJ under attack from Kevin Grubb. Give a tip of the hat to Grubb. He's in 9th position right now, doing a nice job. Only his 2nd road course race in Busch Grand National competition. Now let's go back and show you why PJ's got all this damage and all the creases from the Armco. And we're going to go on board with Mike McLaughlin, and you'll get a bird's eye view.
Now, this all starts a lot earlier, but the 2 for the lead up front there, they go up the hill side by side. PJ hits a ton there on the right. And that all started back in turn 1. PJ taking a run at Leitzinger and trying to play a little bit of hardball. Here it is from PJ's car. Listen here. Ouch. And PJ lucky not to spin that car in front of all those guys going up through the S's there, because there is nowhere to go, and it's blind going up that hill.
Yeah, it could have been a huge wreck. While we were watching the replay, if you notice, 3rd place has changed hands. Ron Fellows has taken it over. And we've got 19 laps to go, and the clouds are getting ever darker. Maybe we'll get this one in without any rain. Stay with us.
See if they got one of these. I don't believe it. You know how long it's been since I've seen one of those? How'd you find this? Oh, go back. Give me the mouse. Give me the mouse. Come on.
Car Guys, your website is here. CarParts.com, the world's largest supply of parts and accessories for cars and trucks.
Oh, man. No, stop!
Ah, your dream home. You thought it was too good to be true. And you were right.
Honey, wake up. The appraiser, remember?
With HUD's FHA Homebuyer Protection Plan, you get the right loan, a fair price, and a thorough appraisal. If any problems are found, you'll know about them before you close. 30 million Americans have trusted us to build their dreams. Call for information on HUD Homes and FHA loans. HUD and FHA are on your side.
affordable Leganza from Daewoo. At less than $19,000, no other car has taken luxury this far.
Wagner brakes make any car feel high performance.
Yep, they're Wagner brakes.
So choose Wagner, from the world's leader in brake pads.
Eddie, is that you?
Beware the spray.
The spray got you? But you were near the tree.
The spray is like no other. One moment I'm fine, the next my roots are like mush.
Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
Welcome back to Watkins Glen. Marty Reed along with Jeremy Dale, Amy East, and Dave Burns in pit lane. We're at Watkins Glen, and we're going to go from wine country in New York with the Winston Cup Series, wine country in California style. Save Mark Cragen 350 later today at 4 o'clock Eastern Time here on ESPN. And it was Jeff Gordon winning from the pole last year. Can Rusty Wallace do it today? Find out 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com. There's your race leader. That is Butch Leitzinger. But the man who is now in second place is Ron Fellows. He has gotten around Kevin Harvick during the commercial break, and there you see the top four. Todd Bodine behind Harvick.
Butch Leitzinger has a small problem right now.
No, it's a very big problem. And it's very yellow, and got big 87 written all over it, and it's coming fast. Ron Fellows.
Just tell, you watch Ron Fellows drive this car, you watch him turn it into the corners.
Yeah, remember last year he got passed going into turn one by Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the final lap. That's what the difference in victory was.
Fellows last year, they had, I believe it was a plug wire came loose, and they had an intermittent misfire in the car, and it just had no straightaway speed. Nothing wrong with the chassis, but he seems to have a perfect race car today.
Leitzinger giving it all he can right now. That is Ron Fellows' crew chief, Brian Patty, telling him he ran a 1-minute, 14.7 second last lap, which was a half a second quicker than the man in front of him. Through the outer loop. Right now, this appears to be a question with 16 laps to go. Does Butch Leitzinger have enough car and enough talent to hold on to this race lead? There are the fast last laps. You can see the difference.
And I tell you, the tip of the hat right now is Kevin Harvick. I mean, you know, Leitzinger and Fellows, these are the guys that you would expect to see running at the front of this field. But look at Kevin Harvick. He's done a fantastic job all day. Great race car, great pit strategy, and great driving.
15 laps to go. 15 laps to go.
Now, you know, we don't have to tell you. We've knocked off another of the 82 laps that we'll be running here at Watkins Glen. There's Todd Bodine. Picked up a sponsorship from I Love New York. There you see it on the quarter panel. He says he's real honored about that because he gets to represent the entire state of New York everywhere that they go across the country from here on out for the rest of the season. Todd Bodine, always a bridesmaid here at Watkins Glen. Well, the reason we say that, look at 92, 96, and 97. He finished second all of those times. Fifth twice, 91 and 93, and ninth last year. I mean, he really runs this place very well in the Busch Grand National Series. And you got more on the driver of the 66 car?
Well, Todd's really hoping for a top 5 finish today. He is running the same car that he ran last year that he placed that 9th place finish, although they have switched to the Fisher motor program, which is giving them some more horsepower. Checked in with them. They said Todd's not saying very much on the radio. Very comfortable in the car. Knows he cannot beat those road racers in front of him, but would settle for a top 5 finish here today.
Well, here's why. Jeff Green's back in 11th right now, and if Bodine can hold on to 4th, he would pick up 30 valuable points on Jeff Green. So that would narrow it to 269. Still a big, big bundle, but at least he's a lot closer. Speaking of a lot closer, Mr. Fellows is a lot closer to the back bumper of Butch Leitzinger. And there are the points as of right now. Man, I say it appears on the screen. It's amazing how this fella
just like magic. I'll tell you what, we're finding out here what Butch Leitzinger's got, because Ron Fellows has been able to mow all these other guys down pretty easily. And he's having to work a little bit harder here with Butch Leitzinger. You saw off the right front, a little bit of tire rub when he makes that transition onto the brake paddle, the nose dives down hard, and he gets just a little tire rub, just for a little second there.
Yeah, and the question becomes, is he rubbing it enough that he could potentially cut it and put himself in a very precarious position, namely the on-coat?
Well, I think at this point, with 14 laps to go, and it not being something that's consistently showing smoke, only when you go to the brake pedal, only when that nose dives down, you just have to run it.
Through turn 11, this time by the stripe, 13 laps remaining. Ron Fellows has a pretty good run, coming off 11 this time. Down the straightaway, is he going to try and pull out, or will he hold on for another lap? He holds on. There's not a lot of pressure. Remember, it takes over a minute, about a minute 14, minute 15 on a good lap to get around this 2.45-mile layout. Let's get an update on Butch Leitzinger's condition from Dave Burns.
I just leaned over to crew chief Joe Peary and I said, he's got a lot of car left, doesn't he? And Joe said, more than I thought. He's having a fun time watching his driver try to hold off Fellows.
Report of sprinkles in the area, like some light rain, guys. If this is happening all over the race course, what do you think's going through everybody's mind?
Well, the bottom line with the rain is that it needs to start raining hard enough that these guys will lose tire temperature. That's when it starts to get a little bit dicey. As long as the tires can stay hot, you can put a little bit of water on the racetrack and it won't really affect them too much. Once you get enough on there that you start to lose the tire temperature, the combination of losing the tire temperature and the racetrack getting slick.
Okay, now you just heard Brian Patty talk about the rain. Now, is he going to go for it? Kevin Harvick is staying with these two guys.
Well, you know, that's what I was just about to say. Harvick could actually end up winning this race because if these two guys get tangled up, you know, Leitzinger's giving Fellows everything he can, and if these two get tangled up, and the pass for the lead isn't a clean one, Harvick could just sneak through and win this thing.
Well, talk about a guy who can gain in the points. Remember, the two guys leading up front aren't in the points championship. Harvick would pick up 2 positions and move into 3rd, and here goes Fellows. No, he's not going to do that off-road excursion like yesterday in the truck race.
Well, I tell you, these guys, they've both got great brakes on these cars. But look at Harvick. Harvick is right there. And now Fellows has got to worry about what's behind him. 3 or 4 laps ago, all he had to worry about was Butch Leitzinger. Now he's got to look in his mirror just a little bit and think about Kevin Harvick.
This time by, it'll be 11 laps to go. I got to believe that Fellows wants to get around now because if the skies open up, theoretically, if it's heavy enough rain, this race could be stopped. And Harvick's coming right along with him. Does he have enough room to pull out? Harvick's making a move on Fellows. No, thinks better of it. Boy, I'll tell you, Leitzinger's getting enough grunt off of turn 11. He is holding on and holding off Ron Fellows.
Well, you see what Leitzinger does right there. A little slower on the entry of the corner, so he's got the car positioned to get on the throttle early and get out of the corner and get down the straightaway quickly.
I watched him years ago in a Busch North race up at Lime Rock Park. He destroyed the field. Missed the driver's meeting, went to the back. Typical story that we've seen many times. Here we go down the back straightaway, and he just came right through the field. There's that rub again, and here goes Fellows up over the curb, takes the top spot.
All clear.
The spotter down in that part of the racetrack.
Drive your own race, buddy. Look forward. Drive your own race.
And your race leader, once again, is Ron Fellows. And now Harvick trying to get around the 30 of Butch Leitzinger.
Oh, no. Fellows gets slowed down a ton there.
And that's going to allow both Leitzinger and Harvick to close the gap.
And Fellows, that pass was a beautiful pass. Gets a little bit of a shot coming up the hill, drafts him coming over the crest of the hill.
10 laps to go. 10 laps to go. Just concentrate, buddy.
You got the word, 10 laps, and we'll be back with the finish of the race here at the Lysol 200 at Watkins Glen International. But we've got to take one more commercial break.
When you need expert, affordable transmission service, turn to Barry's Transmission Specialist. We offer high-performance services for all levels and types of foreign and domestic cars and trucks, as well as rebuilding and adjusting for automatics and standards, clutches, CV joints, and 4x4s. When you need a powerhouse of a transmission specialist, turn to Barry's, your hometown transmission shop. Locally owned and operated for 22 years. Barry's Transmission, 1907 Williston Road, South Burlington.
Go, your hometown rent-to-own store with better prices, faster delivery, and the personal service the big city stores just don't have.
Look at these great values. A washer and dryer pair starting at just $22.99 per week. Brand name TVs starting at $6.99 per week. Bunk beds starting at only $12.99 per week. And sofas and chairs starting at only $19.99 per week.
Rent and Go in the Super Value Plaza, just off Route 7, Virginia. Don't shop in the big city. Stop at Rent and Go.
Names win big races, and Daytona has the biggest races. The next big race is the Pepsi 400 July 1st.
Be there July. Be there July. We can't get together on this one. Are we pointing? Nah, it doesn't matter. Be there July 1st to see me win. What do you mean you win? Hey, I'm winning. No, I'm winning.
NASCAR's Pepsi 400, Saturday night, July 1st. Call 904-253-RACE.
The laps are winding down here at Watkins Glen International. Lysol 200 action. You're looking at the race leader, Ron Fellows. He started on the pole, fell back as far as 20th after the last round of pit stops, and has worked his way back. There's Brian Patty sitting on the war wagon, telling Ron, just drive your race. You're in control. Second place is Butch Leitzinger, but he has got his hands full right now with Kevin Harvick, who has the potential to match his best finish of the season in the Busch Series, which was the second last week at Myrtle Beach, and would be a great finish here in the road course at Watkins Glen.
I'm really impressed with Kevin Harvick and the job he's doing to stay in touch with both these guys. Leitzinger, it's not like Fellows is just dropping these guys and driving away. He's got a couple of car lengths, but Leitzinger's hanging on. But look at Kevin Harvick giving Leitzinger everything. He is all over him. Todd Bodine just a little bit further back, about 3 seconds behind this battle, and he is comfortably ensconced in fourth. Mike McLaughlin is another 6 seconds back in fifth position. So Magic Shoes is going to have another top five the way it's going. And it looks like Ron Hornaday is done as the broken valve has gotten worse, and the Knapp Chevrolet is in the pit. So a tough break for Ron Hornaday and the crew. You know, he was telling me, he said, you know, the notes just don't transfer from Dale Jr. because our driving styles are totally different. And they had a great run going today, but it goes away with the broken valve spring. 8 laps remaining. There's your top three, and they're still within striking distance. In fact, it looks like Leitzinger has reeled in Ron Fellows once again. Remaining. Harvick trying to squeeze every ounce of power out, trying to get around Leitzinger. There you see Todd Bodine back into the distance. And something slowed Ron Fellows down almost a second and a half on that last lap, and there was no traffic.
Could there be a problem brewing in the Bully Hill Vineyard Chevrolet?
He's pulling back out now, so Ron Fellows not a driver prone to making mistakes. But, boy, he lost a bunch of time on that last lap, and now he's legging it out again.
We'll find out this next time by whether it was just an aberration. Maybe he was letting the tires breathe. There's P.J. Jones still hanging on. They've knocked the toe out because of all that contact. That's a battle for 8th. Elton Sawyer coming there. Elton's got around him. Here comes Jeff Green trying to go around him as well. And PJ's not in a real good spot if Green would have forced the issue, but he does not. He's sticking points right now. Smart move. A little bit of contact between the 19 and the 98, we're being told, but no serious damage. None more than PJ's already sustained. He's got both sides of the yellow Freight Chevrolet banged up. Managed to get both sides in the same section of the racetrack. You can actually see the Armco markings, the curvature embedded into the body panel on both sides.
You get that little pancake effect. And I'm amazed PJ's doing as well as he is with this car right now, because it really took a hard hit.
Right now, holding on to the 9th position, Jeff Green rounding out your top 10. There's Elton Sawyer right in front of these two. And here comes Jason Keller. the yeses. This is where all that contact took place for PJ. Now Green looks like he may have a run on the inside. He's going to get the spot. So Jeff Green.
This is a long way around.
Yeah, he's going to have to back off.
That's the long way around, and that's tough.
Whoa, Jason Keller tries it a little wide. And look what it cost him on the exit speed. He tried to go inside, but Jeff Green had to back off. Discretion, the better part of valor, one more time. And that'll give P.J. Jones a little bit of breathing room. 6 laps remaining here. Got a glimpse of Casey Atwood. He's running in the 12th position. And now, that must have been an aberration, that one lap that Fellows was in the 1:16 mark. He just ran a 14.8.
No, he's back on track. But there was a lap there. He ran about a 16.3, 1 minute 16.3, and he had been solidly down in the 15s and the high 14s. And all of a sudden, Butch Leitzinger was back up on the rear bumper. And now, Fellows, this is what you would expect to see him legging out on Butch Leitzinger.
So Ron Fellows, as the laps continue to wind down, they're nervous wrecks in the pits. Brian Patty, head and handstand, please. Nothing go wrong right now. Trying to salvage their weekend. The third-place run yesterday forced into a backup truck that they had never turned a lap in until the start of the race. And Ron Fellows put on a driving clinic yesterday, and he's doing it again today. Harvick looking underneath. Tough place to make the pass, and he backs off at the last minute.
Well, you remember who Butch Leitzinger passed right there.
That's right, Leitzinger did it a little earlier. And you said it's not the easiest of spots to make a pass stick here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, the problem with making that pass there is that it compromises you out onto the front straightaway. This is the battle for 5th right now.
That's Mike McLaughlin, and right behind him is Timmy Fedowa. This would be his 6th consecutive top 5 if McLaughlin can hold on to this spot. And McLaughlin and Phil Parsons are the only ones to run all 10 races here at the Glen. So those guys have something to be proud of. And Phil Parsons is running 17th right now. He's 34 seconds behind his lead. And it looks like Magic Shoes still has the magic at Watkins Glen. Down the straightaway, heading for the inner loop. 4 laps remaining. Dave, you've got an update on the 36 of Tim Fedowa?
After qualifying on the outside pole, Marty, and then having those repairs to be made to the 36, he's done a remarkable job, really because he's been having a slipping clutch all day long. So Tim's been fighting it. He's been pressuring Mike McLaughlin. I've been watching that battle. He's backed off for the moment, but the crew has really been actually crossing their fingers because Timmy's had that slipping clutch. He's been doing a great job still.
He's still got McLaughlin in his gun sights. He might be able to put a little pressure. Whoa, I saw a little smoke coming out of the back of the 36. Meanwhile, we go back to the race leader. And the margin has grown. It's now over 2 seconds.
And it looks like Butch Leitzinger's put a little breathing space between himself and Kevin Harvick.
Harvick has done himself proud today against these 2 road racing veterans. And so is that man in the back of the screen, Todd Bodine. He's got another great run going. That's going to help him in the championship points chase. We've had 5 different leaders, 6 lead changes here. And I was just getting ready to say we've had only 4 cautions. And it looks like we're going to get number 5. And the 35 is in the pits, or in the gravel trap, I should say, Lyndon Amick. And Lyndon's going to be celebrating a birthday as the yellow has come out on June 30th. He will turn 33. This is not the way he wanted to celebrate it. He had a pretty good run going. He was up to, well, that's not true. I'm sorry. He had fallen back to 37, so obviously the tires got him. He had been running in the top 20, but he had dropped off the pace quite a bit. Let's take another look at it, see what happens.
Well, down into turn 1. And it's hard to tell if there was contact there. That was Hubert. But whether there was or whether there was not, certainly not down on the racing line, trying to run side by side. And it's just hard to tell if there was contact, but it didn't really matter.
Well, these guys were duking it out for 37th and 38th on the racetrack. Believe it or not, that was actually for position. Hard way to end it up.
Well, this is not what Ron Fellows wanted to see.
Well, maybe not. I mean, if it takes them 2 laps to get him out of here, this race is going to be over because we're working lap number 81. So it's just a matter of, do we get this pulled out in time to go back to green flag racing for a 1-lap shootout? If it was the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, we'd be going green-white checker. But we won't this time. Stay with us. We'll find out how it shakes out here at the Lysol 200 at Watkins Glen International.
Pep Boys knows how to give you a great deal on tires. They don't run specials on just one size. Pep Boys discounts every size in stock. That means all Cornell 808 35,000-mile tires, 4 for $99. Futura 855 55,000-mile tires, 4 for $129. Or get our Futura 70,000-mile tires, all sizes, 4 for only $169.
Pep Boys, cars like us, people love us.
From the quarter mile at St. Louis to the third turn at Talladega to the pits of Laguna Seca. Wherever innovation is the margin between win and lose, the pros reach for the same tools you do. Craftsman, the official tools of CART, NHRA, and NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Phil Mickelson, and I give my best tips only in Golf Digest.
Call now for Golf Digest and get your first issue risk-free. That's 12 issues for only $19.77, including this pocket tips booklet and this free instructional video. Call 800-717-7700. That's 800-717-7700.
Lately, it's been questioned whether 3-play from ESPN.com is a form of gambling and therefore detrimental to America's youths. With me today is Atlantic City pit boss Freddie B. Is 3-play a form of gambling? Kids, pay attention.
No.
There you have it. 3-play from ESPN.com. It's free. It's sports. Give me the briefcase. It's money.
It's a significant amount of money.
Back at Watkins Glen, we are going to have a 1-lap shootout. Lights are out on the pace car. They're making their way towards turn 10. Lyndon Amick's car has been pulled out of the gravel pit in turn number 1. Remember, you cannot pass on the right side until you get past start-finish line. The restart line is the bridge coming out of turn 11. Ron Fellows is going to set the pace. This is going to get very, very interesting.
Well, he had a 2-second lead when they came over the start-finish line to complete 80 laps. And so this is the last thing.
Buddy. Make sure that motor's cleaned out.
Last time someone has won from the pole was 1995, Terry Labonte. You heard Brian Patty say, clean out the motor, scuff the tires, good luck. He's going to need it. This is what he didn't want to see. You're right. I mean, had it gone one more lap, he could have cruised. Before we go green, Dave, quickly.
Well, Brian Patty came down to talk to Todd Barrier, crew chief for Kevin Harvick, to try to work a little something out. Todd was kind of mum about it, so they didn't really get anything settled.
Well, Harvick's in the 3rd spot. He's got to handle Butch Leitzinger first. Here we go, coming down towards the green and the white. 1 lap remaining here at the Lysol 200.
And I'll tell you, Leitzinger hung back a little bit. So did Harvick, and they hung back too much.
Defensive line through turn 1. You're right. They gave up too much ground going down into turn number 1. Fellows. There's Todd Bodine in 4th. I think they gave him too much room.
Oh, absolutely.
Coming down the back straightaway. This would be your most opportune moment to make a pass, but they're not anywhere near close enough.
Man, look at Fellows turn that thing in with such authority.
Yeah, he's very aggressive right now. We're seeing the max out of the Bully Hill Vineyard Chevrolet through the outer loop for the final time. Ron Fellows is going to do it again. International Speedway Corporation owns this facility. they ought to sell it to Ron Fellows because he owns the racetrack, that's for sure. Watkins Glen belongs to Ron Fellows through turn 11 for the final dive. A third yesterday in the truck race and first today in the Lysol 200. A great run for Busch Leisinger, even greater for Kevin Harvick. Listen to the crew. Are they happy?
Oh, man, what a great job these guys did.
Crew all weekend. I mean, even in the truck race, you guys are the best.
Let's go to Dave with Brian Patty.
And Brian is standing here. Brian, what did you try to work out with Todd Barrier? It didn't seem to matter too much.
No, he said it would be fine if the caution just stayed out and finished third. He didn't need to tear up any equipment, but, you know, Busch Leisinger, he's tough. He's with the Works Cadillac, and watch him at Le Mans and everywhere else, just like I watch Ron. So, yeah, I did tell you, this means a lot. Sponsor Bully Hill. I mean, we had a tough week. The super truck, that was just an unfortunate deal. To run third in that truck we had to borrow and buy or whatever was a great accomplishment. We just want to prove ourselves.
Part of this passion is for your driver, Ron Fellows, isn't it?
Oh, this is for him. It's for our sponsor that's 20 miles away in Hammondsport, Bully Hill Vineyard. For Alcon Brakes, Fluidyne, Precision Gear, AER. I mean, everybody's involved in this deal. I mean, they come and they spend the money to sponsor us, and that's what we got to do. Is got to win races. So Cup race is next, I hope.
Brian Patty loved this stuff, guys, and it shows in the way he responded.
A lot of emotion in the eyes and the words of Brian Patty, and we may see a little more of that emotion when Ron Fellows makes his way to victory lane, and that's where we'll catch up to him when we come back to Watkins Glen.
Wow, I didn't see that in the store. This must be new. This sure beats standing in line. Oh, he's gonna love this. Jeff Burton and Frank Stoddard.
Could I have your autograph?
All the merchandise, all the drivers, all the time. The NASCAR online store at NASCAR.com. It's official.
16.8. We are going to have to work on that. And Blanchard's car is handling great as he takes the lead. Incredible.
Moog chassis parts make any car feel high performance. So choose the chassis parts that drive NASCAR champions to victory. Moog, now with M2 technology.
Nothing like food and water stolen from a precious little azalea.
Thanks for the meal, Red.
Ain't nobody gonna spray us now with all these delicate flowers around.
Right, Red?
Say, what's that?
Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
Now get the Wall Street Journal delivered for 13 weeks at just 57 cents a day, or 25% savings. Call now, 800-255-6600. That's 800-255-6600 for the Wall Street Journal.
Tonight, the road trip rips into the desert, where an NL West battle heats up. Todd Helton muscles the Rockies against Steve Finley and the D-backs. The ultimate road trip rolls on. Rockies Diamondbacks, tonight at 8 on ESPN.
NASCAR's top drivers will have to hold on tight if they want to conquer the twists and turns of the road course at Sears Point Raceway. The Save Mark Cragen 350, today at 4 on ESPN.
Ron Fellows jumps out of the Bully Hill Vineyard, Monte Carlo, having won in fantastic style. I can't tell, this must be Bully Hill wine or something being thrown around out here, but Fellows with a great win here today, and obviously very familiar with victory lane here. And Ron, from the smell of things around here, you and Bully Hill are a pretty good combination, aren't you?
Oh, man, that's awesome. Got to thank everybody. Chevrolet, Bully Hill, AER, 10 years with Bob and Helen McGraw. This is awesome. Brian Patty, all the guys at Nemco. Man, that's awesome. That was a great fight with Busch and Kevin Harvick. And, you know, Busch is kind of a teammate. I'm going to have to go chat with him. That's great. He drives the Cadillac LMP, and I'm in the Corvette. That's just, that's awesome. That was a great day. The car was perfect all day. These guys are getting smarter. It's getting, that was tougher than I wanted it to be.
What was tougher, battling Busch or coming back from 20th when you guys pitted?
Well, that was part of it. When I caught up to the, I tried to make quick work to the front and then conserve a little bit because it's so easy to overheat the brakes here, and I was pushing a little bit, but I mean, that was the same for everybody. The car just did exactly what I needed to do, and we had enough brakes at the end to make some passes in the loop. Again, Brian Patty, all the guys in IMCO are just awesome job. I can't thank them enough. And yeah, these new Goodyear tires, really like them too. These are cool. I can't wait till the Cup weekend.
All right, he's getting ready for another road course race later this year in a Winston Cup car. And Amy, a guy who's probably going to be in Cup someday, Kevin Harvick.
Well, Kevin Harvick is definitely showing that he is a talented race car driver. Your ability on the road course here today was phenomenal. Tell me, how was the entire Busch road course experience for you?
Well, I mean, these guys did a heck of a job on this car, and makes my job real easy when you can drive something like this AC Delco car was today. But all that go-kart experience, I think, is paying off, and just able to showcase what we can do on a road course. And, you know, we didn't make any mistakes. Todd had great pit strategy today. We stuck to his plan all day long, and it worked out okay for us.
Were you a little concerned there after you guys made that second stop when Todd recalculated and decided you needed to come down for a quick splash? Did you think at that point that maybe you guys had miscalculated on the fuel mileage situation?
Well, he knew it was going to be close, and he just wanted to make sure, and he decided to come in and get tires under yellow, and just in case we had to come back in. So it was a good call, and he thought we had to come back in, but he wasn't sure, and he made sure, and he did the right thing.
Well, you guys, the big points winner today for the Busch Series was Kevin Harvick. He's now moved up to 4th.
All right, congratulations to all the guys here today. In fact, let's take a look at the results. Ron Fellows, the arrows mean you've led at least one lap. The double arrows means Ron Fellows led the most. Harvick, we've already talked to him, Bodine. McLaughlin, Magic Shoes has his 6th straight top 5 here. Elton Sawyer in his sponsor's title race finishes 7th. A little bit further down, Randy LaJoie comes from 35th to finish 15th. Then as we move a little bit further on through the field, further back, I'm looking for Phil Parsons. He fell back just there at the end to 25th. We had 27 cars on the lead lap. And there you see the rest of the field as Hornaday and Hubert ended up far back in the field, 36 and 37. Back with more from Watkins Glen after this.
It's more than just a way to mow your lawn. It's a connection to 163 years of hard-earned truths passed down from the Great Plains to your backyard. It's the technology of the most advanced farm equipment in the world, helping you care for your own private piece of the planet. It is John Deere Solid, and now it can be yours for less than $2,000. The LT-133. See for yourself. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Surprisingly affordable Leganza from Daewoo. At less than $19,000, no other car has taken luxury this far.
See if they got one of these. I don't believe it. You know how long it's been since I've seen one of those? How'd you find this? Oh, go back. Give me the mouse. Give me the mouse. Come on.
Car guys, your website is here. CarParts.com, the world's largest supply of parts and accessories for cars and trucks.
Oh, man. No, stop!
Today's Busch Grand National Series race, the Lysol 200, is being brought to you by America's #1 choice in tools. Craftsman makes anything possible. And by Daytona, USA, the official attraction of NASCAR. Let's go down to Dave Burns. He's caught up with Butch Leitzinger.
Butch, tell us about the incident with P.J. Jones, and then how much of a worry was the tire rub?
Well, we got up to the top of the hill, and one of us had to lift, and I couldn't let it be me. So we pretty much ended as it was going to. And I could smell a little bit of tire rub after that, and I was pretty worried about it, but the spotter said to keep going, so I just tried to forget about it.
And he did enough to concentrate on driving to that finish, guys. Amy is with Mike McLaughlin.
His 6th top 5 finish here in Watkins Glen. Mike, this place has got to be special for you. Great run today.
Makes it nice to come home, I'll tell you. It's just, I don't know what it is about Watkins Glen, just a lot of support here, fans, family. Goals pumps me from Seneca Falls. Can't wait for next year.
It's always good when you can come and run good with a sponsor right in the backyard of the track.
Mike McLaughlin from Waterloo, New York. Take a look at the points championship chase. It has narrowed a bit. It's now 273 between Jeff Green and Todd Bodine, Jason Keller. Kevin Harvick moves up to 4th. Sawyer now 5th. Hornaday drops to 6th. LaJoie, Atwood, Raines, and David Green round out the top 10. Points after 17 of 32 races. More racing later today. In fact, the Busch guys have thrown down the gauntlet to all you guys out on the West Coast in the Winston Cup Series. Sears Point, the action. Rusty Wallace is on the pole. Save Mark Cragen, 350 from Sears Point Raceway. 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific today here on ESPN. And we've got golf coming up next here on the network. Final comments there, Jeremy?
Well, I'll tell you, these boys kept Ron Fellows honest today. It was a tough victory for him, but Butch Leitzinger made him work hard. Kevin Harvick did a fantastic job.
I got a kick out of the spotter. Tells Butch Leitzinger, it's okay, keep going. It's easy for him to say he was the one sitting up in the nice comfort of the spotting tower. So, Ron Fellows is your race winner here. We told you about Senior PGA Tour coming up next for Jeremy Dale and Dave Burns and Amy East. I'm Marty Reed. Thanks so much for joining us here at Watkins Glen International for the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. Great race here today. We hope we'll see you again here on ESPN. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time we go racing. So long, everybody.